Hello, Stormy. How are you? Welcome in. Congrats on first.
Get a load of this!
Hey, how you doing, Ryuk? Welcome in. Ooh. It looked like Skibbity Toilet. I mean, I'd like to say I'm surprised. Skibbity's popping off, though. Low-key, well, what's the word? High-demand brand. God, when is the Skibbity Toilet Killer coming to Dead by Daylight? But is the Danganronpa 3 anime then started playing the version 3 game? Oh, I don't know why. At first I read that you finished it already. And I was like, damn, version 3 must not be a very long game then. Which I've never played it, so, you know. At some point I want to replay the first one, but it's not a priority. This platform is... Hey, it's not Twitch's fault, you know, they pay them like how many ever thousands of dollars probably. Like, I think I saw a YouTube video some 60,000 years ago that was talking about somebody who took on advertising, like really stupid advertisements back when the whole like crazy fucking ad thing was popping off, you know? Like that nail filing ad where you're filing a nail, but if you fail, you make her bleed, and she says, "Stop, I'm trying to play Among Us," you know? And he said it cost something like $20,000, I think, for 3 ads to play for, I think it was a week. I'm glad. You're very lucky. I almost made a YouTube video about it. Actually, let me see if my playlist for that video is still like around, because I made a playlist of those ads specifically. Let's take a look. BO7 reveal stream in less than an hour and a half? Not especially. Video unavailable. The YouTube account associated with the video has been terminated. Fuck, man. Nail ad Among Us. Show me. Not Among Us stickers on nails. No, I'm looking specifically... I didn't say stickers. Did I put stickers? No, I fucking didn't. It's just showing me how to make my nails into Among Us, and I don't want to do that. Oh well. It's fine. Think I passed YouTube's AI check they're doing today? What AI check? I was unaware of an AI check. Don't think too many kids watch Sopranos clips and videos about mundane coding tips. Coding? Person, you're coding? What the hell? Person, you should make Heartbound. Not looking forward to the reveal of a new game in a series you really don't care about, especially remembering how shit tier BO6 turned out. Actually, how are they already pumping out a BO7? Did BO6 not just fucking come out? Like, did that not just happen? Like, I feel like I remember hearing about the reveal of BO6, like maybe a year ago, I guess. I guess it has been a while, but a year to pump out a game nowadays? Fuck, talk about a lack of fucking optimization. Came out October, November. See, that's wild. That's too fucking fast. Assassin's Creed fell to the same fucking issue, where it got too obsessed with releasing a game every year, and the game started to suck. Stop while you still can, whatever company runs Black Ops, I don't remember. Treyarch, I think. Treyarch? Oh, it is Treyarch. Oh, okay. Oh, good on me. I'm impressed with myself. I didn't think I'd remember Treyarch. Now that Person can hear me again. Person, you've been looking up coding tips for what? And also follow-up question, or follow-up request instead. You should totally make Heartbound 2. Or just the first Heartbound, given that the first one still isn't fucking done. Heist comedy, a fish called... What the fuck is a fish called Wanda? YouTube is checking people's ages via AI, and if they deem you a child, you have to share an ID or something that only adult would have. Damn. You know, let's check my history. Let's check if I'm about to be flagged as a kid. Let's see. Okay, there's a shitload of live streams I didn't even fucking want that showed up in YouTube Shorts. There's some guides about Crash Bandicoot when I couldn't find the fucking secret exit, which made me want to cut my legs off. You know what? Maybe it's not looking good. Oh, wait, no, there's some videos about Dexter, I guess. Everything wrong with Fume. Let's see. Some Dead by Daylight videos, of course. Reviewing a hotel scam. Okay. The Red Dead Redemption 2 no kill challenge. Yeah, alright, I'm probably fine. And some Dead by Daylight, more Dead by Daylight videos. Oh, there we go. The psychological horror of fears to fathom. There we go, now I'm safe. I was probably safe anyway, but... Always coded, thought this was someone known. Think about me? I feel like you've mentioned it like halfway a few times, but I didn't think it was like actually something you pursued. You know what I mean? Yearly franchise, that's usually a 2 to 3 year dev cycle because there's 3 main studios making games each. But 2 Black Ops a year in a row. I mean, or 2 years in a row. I'm not shocked. I don't know what it is, but game companies seem desperate to release. Even though I feel like the main complaint from gamers right now is your games are fucking not optimized. I can't run these damn things. Like, is my computer top of the line anymore? No. But I should still be able to run everything that comes out at max graphics with no fucking risk. But each of these games chugs. Like, the fact that RoboCop would occasionally chug. Like, that's insane. That's wild. Just put in a credit card, too, which is a bit less privacy invading. I mean, not that much less. All things considered. Because if they make an information request to the bank, which I assume they probably do, they'll get way more information than your ID would have. Then again, maybe not. Maybe they're both just as messed up as each other. Used to code FNF. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is it kind of wild that I sometimes forget you were a big FNF person? Like, is that wild? Because I forget that sometimes. Like, sometimes it slips my mind that we used to do FNF corners. Hello, Azure. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you today? Also just buy premium? No. I'm not giving YouTube money. I'll give YouTube my watch time, but YouTube's not getting my money. Ignore the FNF corners we used to do. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot about them. To be like 100 emoji with you. I kind of, yeah, like completely forgot. The eras past have passed too far back, person. The FNF corners are a byproduct of a foregone age. Or whatever other cool way I want to put that or something. I have a cool fact about me? Hit me. You just have to make sure it's cooler than Ryuk's cool fact. And Ryuk didn't have one, so you're good. Sorry, I was opening the bottle. All right. Are you guys excited? Get excited for me to make no progress. Uh-oh. Okay, JK, I'm gonna have to close the Roottrees Are Dead, apparently. It's on its bullshit again. For some reason, if I leave it Alt-Tab for too long, it just decides not to work anymore. Git. Come on now. Is it truly so difficult for you to work? I heard my name. Oh, I was just telling Azure there that their cool fact about themselves needs to be better than your cool fact about you. That's the contest. There's a contest going on today. Is the game just not going to launch at all now? Roottrees Are Dead, please. I don't have time for this. I'm dying. I'm dying as we speak. No, got an official mobile port? Alright. Do mods work on mobile? No way, right? I mean, I guess mobile would be a lot easier to play. You know, you just have to press the buttons. Not particularly difficult. I don't have any cool facts about me. There you go, Edger. You're guaranteed to win. Alright, let's see how I've done. Right, okay. Finished all the top bits. I've locked in Joanna, Guy Hudson, the man who bangs everything for some reason. Rapper Man. This lady. Child. Right, and this guy... Okay. Indeed. Do I have a picture of you? Edsel Sterling? Probably you. right? You're the only one who looks like an adult in that room to be like 100% with you. For context, this is the picture I'm talking about. Stuart is the older boy wearing her vest. Stuart. Right, Stuart's the... Haha! Now we're balling. we're getting progress there. And he's a police officer. Now we're balling. Could be possible, at least on Android? Maybe if you got fancy. I feel like they wouldn't be suited with the gameplay, though. Unless Mr. Stewart had a baby. No, they didn't divorce. Okay, never mind. 5+ year account just goes adult? No. I think they already said that wasn't going to happen, if memory serves. That they were going to look deep into it. But, I just don't. I can't be asked to give a fuck. I'm not giving them my you know. Not giving them my information. I refuse. You know what? Who was... Oh, by the way, to catch everybody up. My goal here is to find how many people this guy, Guy Hudson, this guy, Miracle, and this guy, Elias, how many people they banged and had infidelity with. So that's all I got right now. I'm at a bit of a dead end. It's pretty hard to find these no-name people, you know, like Lucy Lang. How do I find this person? I can Google Lucy Lang all I want, but nothing's gonna come up. What's my history? What's my intuition say? That the 6 pieces is gonna give me a hint. Okay. Fam watched age-restricted stuff and it saved their asses, apparently? Maybe. I mean, how would they know it saved their asses? Did they get an email? Guy Hudson, who took over as president in 1978. Sam was very much not a fan of Guy. Very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife, Patricia. Okay, yes. I knew that part. So he banged Joanna Robertson. Xinyu Lang. I don't know this person. And Susan Ford, probably. Tell you if they mark she's a child? Yeah, but did they tell you if they don't? You know? Like, how do they know it saved their asses? You know? Barbara Resort, Elizabeth. I put Elizabeth down, didn't I? Yeah, Christine Farrow. Wait all day and see if you get told or not? Oh, let's find out. I wonder if I'll get marked as a child for my horror watches. Bribed at least one politician to open a factory in Brazil. Already investigated that. There's also a section where Sam speculates that Elias may have also cheated on Gwyneth. He did. Gwyneth was much kinder to Sam than Elias was, and was the first to invite Sam to family events. While she has no hard evidence, Sam always got the impression that Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias into allowing Sam back using some kind of leverage. Sam also says her son Ernie once asked her, "Who's Beth?" because he overheard them yelling about someone with that name. As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth than the supervisor from the farm. Okay, so her first name is probably actually Elizabeth then, not Beth. So can I look that up? Is it actually a name that comes up? No. Fantastic. You know, the tuition is meant to be helpful, but it's kind of not. List of first and last names you could choose from will contain red herrings. Not all of them will be used. Below is a reminder of some of the most notable beats of your initial dive. Hey, how you doing, Foxclone? Welcome in. How are you? I am not feeling great. I won't lie to you. My eyes are quite heavy. When I ate earlier, everything I ate felt like eating stones. But, you know, it is what it is. But how... But how is this recapping stuff gonna help me? What about... Hold on. What about, The Rafferton site that once had a photo of Clark on it no longer exists. Instead, it redirects to a site for a telephone number called 1010-250, which frustratingly keeps popping up advertisements in new windows every few seconds. You managed to close them, but it sure is annoying. Let me look this up. She Long Lang from Ace Attorney? No. Lacey Lang. It's one of the last names of the people Guy banged. So, you know, you got Xin Yu Lang. And then she had a kid. But with Guy Hudson. But they pretended it was an adoption for her sister. So her name is Lucy Lang. And that's all I got. Music and most of it is music they probably consider adult. You think so? You never know. Kids get fancy with the music nowadays. 1010-250 is apparently a phone number you can dial before making a long-distance call to receive a discount from the telephone company. For the past few months, you've been inundated with ads for it and other services like it. This includes TV spots starring celebrities, radio commercials with parodies of popular songs, and banner ads for it on many different websites. It doesn't seem relevant to your search. The Rafferton's domain was likely purchased by a third party when the license expired. What's his name again? Chris Rafferty. Okay. Chris Rafferty. Never mind. Chris Raff 75. There we go. Would you let a kid listen to Kanye? I mean, I wouldn't, but I know a lot of parents who wouldn't care. Chris Rafferty's Prodigy site seemed to have been discovered by the masses. Gone are the art pictures of his cousins. Instead, it's a list of questions that people kept emailing him. The most relevant ones are the following. Are you the son of Clark Rafferty? Yes, but I didn't grow up with him. I remember him from when I was a little kid, but I moved away with my mom when I was very young. We left Pennsylvania and moved back home to Virginia. We lived there with Pete, my stepdad. My dad and I spoke a few times when I found his phone number on a check he sent us in the mail when I was 15. He was happy to hear from me, and now he calls me once a month and came to visit me at college. He tells me things I don't remember and people like Guy Hudson and Ernie Madsen. My dad and I get along, but obviously we aren't very close. Did you ever meet the Roottrees? I used to know the Roottrees, but never the sisters. I was in the office sometimes when I was a kid, and I definitely met Guy Hudson before he died, but I don't remember. My memory is weird. It's hard to know what I actually remember, misspelling, and what I only think I do because I have pictures. For example, I have a photo from when I was 5, and in the office with my dad and Guy was there. I made myself sick by eating chocolate, and some woman who I don't know cleaned my face. I don't know if my memories of that come from the picture or not. The photo has been added to your evidence. TLT's remix of Discord that randomly... I mean, that's a good song, though. That's a sick-ass song. So... kind of based. How did you have proof of Ernie Madsen's heart condition? I knew Ernie had a heart problem because my dad told me on one of our phone calls. I asked him about the poison because I saw it on the Roottrees website, and he emailed me some old stuff, including the proof, but even with the proof, the website didn't take it down. It's also based on a show for little girls. Hey, you'd probably like a single season of that show. Every other season you'd hate. But there's like a season with a few episodes you might start to like. You spelled fiancé wrong. I'm not good at spelling or writing. I'm good at painting and other art. I'm going to school to learn how to edit movies. I want to make cartoons someday. Lulu is much better at spelling. Lulu. Who's Lulu? I'll leave it. I'll leave that be for now. All right. Okay, so Guy Hudson. That's Guy. This photo was on Chris Rafferty's website. Photo him, his father, and Guy Hudson. So this will be... I don't remember who. But that's fine. Okay, so additional picture of Guy. And Chris Rafferty's dad. Where are you, Chris? Where are you, bud? Said Ernie Madsen was the dad. Ernie Madsen. Okay. Uh-oh. Well, this is Ernest Jr. Madsen. So I guess that's not right. Wait, where are the Raffertys? Oh, here we go. Okay, okay. Clark Rafferty. Ugly ass head. So this is going to be a picture of him when he actually had hair. And this is Chris, and this is his baby self. And then we have this lady. Where is this? According to Chris' photo, him and his father, Guy Hudson, while they were distracted, he'd suck into the supply of chocolate they kept for visitors and tours. Okay, so she worked for them. Does that mean you're Christine? Or does that mean, no, you're not a principal, because you clearly work at the place based on the uniform. So you're either a secretary, Christine Farrow, or you're whoever this person is. Which I'll keep in mind. I see the orange one. How are you gonna in the same, like, how many minutes? 4 minutes. Say it's a show for little girls, but also that you're violently attracted to the orange horse. I'm just saying there's a line. Oh, I still have another one here. What did I miss here? Let's look up this. Clark Rafferty LaRue. Clark Rafferty LaRue is the new president of the Roottrees Corporation, which is Baldy McBaldman. Because he's married to Kim LaRue. I didn't miss it. Sure. This does not include Root, which appears to have its own leadership. In early March of 1999, 5 months ago, it was announced that both Clark Rafferty LaRue and Ron Roottries, right, because they both became president, would be taking over for what was essentially described as a transitional period in the aftermath of Six Pieces. About 2 weeks later, the company released a press statement that thanked Ron for his work, but announced that Clark was the new permanent president. Most of the information about Clark you knew already. Many descriptions of him tend to focus on his advertising career, and his mother was Lauren Roottries. Few seem to touch on his complex and volatile marital history. Yes, he married many people. Since taking over, Clark has tried to remain out of the spotlight, but did have one notable foray into the public eye. He gained a lot of support when his first move was a statement in favor of accepting Sam and her family into the trust. This also served as an announcement that the Clanstead Trust would no longer be handled by anyone into the family, since due to their financial motivation, none of them could be impartial. That is kind of fair. Okay, what about Ron? Ron was announced president during the Roottrees Rift, but the next press release immediately reversed the announcement and instead stated that Ron and Clark would take over. Ron was dropped from the title entirely. There are hundreds of results about this development. Okay. Ron has also done some interviews saying that the truth of what went on behind the scenes is not something he wishes to discuss. Instead, he hopes to release a movie about it someday. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Ron. 3 weeks ago, Ron's mother, Gwen, died in Paris, France. He and his brother, Robbie, have seemingly made amends. Okay, that's very fucking sad. Okay, I said there was some speculation in Business Watch. Business Watch ran an article about 2 months after the Roottrees rift about what really happened with Roottrees. The article mentions that nobody from Roottrees that they reached out to was willing to go on the record. Instead, the timeline of events has been constructed from public record, accidental leaks, and a source on the inside. The only parts that are new to you are also the most vague, the ones supposedly confirmed by their anonymous source. The timeline says the family actually held a preliminary vote after Carl died, but before the release of 6 pieces, and decided they wanted Ron to take over because of his experience running RR Productions and because he was well-known and a well-respected Roottries. But Ron seemed way too eager and personally motivated. Okay. They were worried he would gut the Clan Said Trust or remove Robbie. The family was notoriously unwilling to do anything that could risk their wealth. What a shock. They stalled and Ron became frustrated with the delay. When 6 pieces came out, he saw his chance to force action while the family was in the limelight and released the press release himself in an attempt to get the ball rolling faster. Indeed. 2 minutes to wait, 2 minutes to wait, 2 minutes. Hey, that's what you signed up for, person. Good old Payday 2 stealth. This caused chaos within the family. They tried to save face by allowing Ron to take over as co-president with Clark, but according to Business Watch's source, Ron was impossible to deal with. He seemed like he was unwilling to protect the Clan Said Trust, and they eventually let him go. After that, the roles solely passed to Clark, who nobody was excited about, but seemed like the safest choice. Okay. Sorry, Clark. Sorry, right. Music. Oh, yeah, because Clark used to be a singer. My bad. My bad. Okay, what about... okay. Sorry, I meant all. No? Alright. What if I look up... Am I misspelling Pharaoh? Oh, I fucking am. Damn it. Indeed. So many civvies, it's not even funny. Honestly, I say it's probably safer to kill them. Unless you're just poor. Like, you're desperate for money in the game, you know? Wait, I still don't know who this child is. Not that one. Who's the kid in the yellow shirt? Photos Mary Beth Clementine, a singer who may have had an affair with Miracle Roottrees. I mean, she definitely had an affair with Miracle. If I can be on God. But who is this? Who's the kid? Miracle, your picture disturbs me. Oh yeah, actually, person, should I put on the rap music instead of the jazz? So you can listen to what this game considers rap music? You know... Oh, wait. Salazar. Okay. I do know Regina's last name. Salazar. Ha. I do not want to know what a sleuth gang considers rap music. Not even what it considers 90s rap music. But that's peak, right, person? You love 90s rap. Letter and Calder show us you can do it. Police officer never knew his father. Okay, I've probably done this one, and then I like Easy E. Okay, well this is him. His name is Felix Fellows. And he named himself 5 Ps. I mean, that's definitely the Roottrees Candy Company symbol. That was Latinx. No, I'm pretty sure he's just white. Actually, no, his mom Maybe. Whatever. Let's look up Xinyu Lang again. Sorry, not Xinyu Lang then. Let's look at my highlights. Corporate Senate, I think I looked these up already. Hello, Luna, how are you? Welcome in. Lucy Lang is lead synergy engineer whose list is being ranked 1. Okay, so Lucy Lang. Give me Lucy Lang. I need to look up Lucy Lang in the periodicals. Ha, ha, ha. Consultants that corporations hire to facilitate large internal changes. Each person featured in the article has a small bio, followed by a longer section about why they were chosen. Small arc... Wait. I've already read this. Oh, man. Oh, ads right as you join. Sorry, Luna. Feels bad. Let's go back to this, maybe. Susan Ford has been moved to office staff. Douglas Rosenberg is no longer employed. Edward Moore, da-da-da-da-da. Corrine Schwartz and Beatrice Watts. Let's look these people up. Oh, okay. Corrine Schwartz comes up in a few articles from local news stations in Pennsylvania. Some of the people attempting to track down Anonymom were harassing her. She recently had to take a leave of absence because people showed up to the car dealership where she works. She's begging people to stop the accusations so she can get back to a normal life. In every article you find, the journalists involved have independently verified that she is not Anonymom. Okay. Okay, what about Beatrice Watts here? Nope. What about Lisa Lewis? Nope. Valerie Ewing? My question is, why are people so convinced it's Corrine? Why not anybody else? Corrine Schwartz resides in Pennsylvania, though it appears she lives beyond the Butler County limits. After she was named in a national tabloid, people have come to her place of work and accused her of being Anonymom. The article explains it's impossible for her to be Anonymom because her only child is still in middle school. Unless her son's gestation period was approximately 10 years, it doesn't appear like Corrine could have been involved in any of the potential affairs in your tree. Okay, well, I didn't think so. Okay, Emily Seinfeld. Emily Seinfeld. No. Emily Barnes. No. Gwyneth Madsen, Gwyneth Paltrow, because Gwyneth got married. Let's look up the parties, maybe. Trying to find a lead here. Christmas tree bash, maybe? No. I've already looked up the Grandorf Dove, but might as well look again. The Grandorf Dove School for the Deaf. Yeah. The Hudson Wing. Donation came with the assistance of an employee of Roottrees at the time. Mentioned that she learned ASL from the main school, so before she became the president. Adult tunes. But hello, Luna, how are you? Sorry, the ad started like literally right as right as you joined here. Maybe I can look up. Let's look up the Grandorf School for the Deaf instead of the Dove part. No, still the same. But how do I go deeper on a Susan Ford? I need more information about Susan Ford. Are you looking on Reddit or something? I've noticed Reddit lately is a really big fan of, you should go ahead and wipe your PC. And then just hope for the best next time, bro. Damn, I'm running into a dead end again. Alright, duck me. I hate getting a hint. You found a lot of information, important information in your last investigation. Now that some time has passed, it's worth looking into it. I guess. It was Steam forums? That also checks out. Founded by Elias Gwyneth. Financial reliance on the health of that company. Most of the action took place in or around Butler County, Pennsylvania. Elias, Carl, and Reno were on the cover of magazines. Other notable Roottrees, such as Lauren Roottree, Miracle Roottree, and Jim Roottree, had physical media. Maybe I should look up Lauren? In the wake of Six Pieces' release, Lauren Roottree, author of A Life Between Wars, was tracked down by a reporter as being in one of the most upscale memory care facilities in Pittsburgh. She was relocated back to Pennsylvania when she began suffering from Alzheimer's. There was a minor backlash towards the reporter that tracked Lauren down because they were caught standing on a ladder and holding their camera over the privacy wall to take a photo of Lauren and her son Clark sitting on a bench. Okay, fantastic. Appreciate that. So glad. Maybe look up Miracle again. Yep, I've already read that. What about Jim? It doesn't surprise me it was Steam forums, though. Never been any rumors of infidelity about either of them. I think I've read that already. Lauren's two diaries are probably the most useful resources overall. I guess I could look up her diaries again. Yeah, right. Why not? Will it hurt, really? Author of A Life Between Wars. So the book is called A Life Between... When revisiting Lauren's book, there's a single passage that focuses on potential affairs in her immediate family. You've added it to the rest of your evidence. I'm currently trying to run as admin. Do you have any mods? And if you do, did you install the BLT thing? That was my most common crash reason. The 5 pieces, Elias's children, could be identified based on the initials of the original candy flavors. I do remember. Crashlog just says access violation, which no one knows what it means. Okay. Have you restarted your computer? I hate recommending that, but Payday 2 actually responds to it. Sometimes. Stephanie Jones, Brian Jones, already did that. This has been a thing for a week? Oh, fuck. Did you uninstall, reinstall? It might just be one of the mods. One of the mods might be busted. Like, my Payday 2 either works or doesn't work based on whether or not it feels in the mood for that day. To be, like, upfront with you. November Roottrie. Hold on, let's look up this person. Huh? Hey, Starbeast, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. How you doing? How was the stream? What were you streaming? Well, usually Is Frosty broken? Hang on. Frosty, what are you doing? That's strange. Frosty's meant to shout you out. I guess I wasn't in the mood. Infernax, retro style gets style from Castlevania. Interesting. I'd never play it. I don't like the Vania style games, but this sounds kind of like something that a lot of people would enjoy. Actually, were you the one who recommended that climbing game to me? Where you climb the tower? Let's look up Brother Trouble. Page hasn't been updated in 8 months. Okay, not that. Sam and her father were cryptically mentioned in a book about historical letters. Right. Alright, Starbeast. I appreciate the rate. Enjoy yourself. Whatever it is you need to do, you know. Let's look up Zachariah Morden, why don't we? Because I see he needs a picture. Yeah, no, apparently not. Now, where is... Right, let's look up... What? How? Oh, sorry, my bad. Mad stuff. There we go. 6 pieces, Unwrapping America's Sweetest Family. I have that alright. Yeah, okay, I have that already. Released in early 1999 and perhaps assisted by the still relatively recent plane crash. Still happened vanilla? Oh, that's rough. Fucking Payday 2, man. I hate Payday 2. It's just so unreliable. Shot to the top of the charts. Reviews were mixed, and its time on the bestsellers list was limited to 2 months. Most reviewers agreed that the core of the book was compelling, and that the takedown of the hypocrisy of Elias was deserved. Many took umbrage with the timing of the release and the tone of the book, which seemed vindictive. Due to a conflict of leadership, families released multiple conflicting official statements over 3 days. This confusing move was referenced in popular culture to a late-night sketch about indecisionitis. Fantastic. Oh, yeah, here it is. He gets baskets for fucking Clover. You don't like Clover, person? Indecisionitis was a disease coined by popular sketch show as part of a fake pharmaceutical advertisement for Jit Together. While the segment isn't fully about the Roottrees Candy Company, it was released in the weeks after their bizarre response to the release of 6 pieces. Jacket, Dallas, and SoCalls. That's it. Joy is bearable with a certain mod. Don't. Is it a mod that does what I think it does? In the sketch, a woman ordered a number 5 at a drive-thru speaker, then after pulling forward, she changed her mind, asking to switch it to a number 3. This caused a lengthy backup and annoyance among the restaurant's employees and other patrons. After she pulls away, as the employers began helping other customers, the same woman then barged into the restaurant and passed the current line, loudly complaining that she didn't receive her number 5. After this, the sketch transitioned from the restaurant scene to a pharmaceutical commercial. A doctor claims that the woman is suffering from indecisionitis, a disease that caused extreme confusion and irritability, and has recently been found to severely hinder the leaders of large corporations, but could also spread to humans. Damn, that really is a fucking old style of advertisement, or skit, rather. The doctor then recommends Jit Together, a fake pharmaceutical drug. Multiple testimonials use variations of the catchphrase, when I can't make my tough decisions, I've got to get my Jit together. Fantastic. Too bad it crashes the game even more. At least PD3's version works. PD3 has mods. Huh. That kind of surprises me. The final testimonial included a bald man in silhouette with a voice changer saying, I'm not comfortable sharing who I am, but I am comfortable saying that before I took over my family's candy company, I really should have gotten my Jit together. Oh, same thing. Okay. So this was all like a long-ass joke and helped me none at all. Fuck. A lot of them I was shocked too. Damn. Are there any actually good ones that aren't Give character large T-toss. Here it is. An entry entitled Cruelty from Lauren Roottrees' diary, written in 1963. It focuses on the relationship between her mother and father. While it offered only redundant information during your previous investigation, it mentions the subject of affairs and may be more useful this time around. Mostly HUDs and his ass not tits. Damn. I'm sorry. Very uncultured of me, I know. Oh, God. I am no stranger to true love. Jacob and I married at an age that was most deem unfit for marriage, but he was also enlisting at an age that most deem unfit for war. We had no choice. I knew in my heart that our marriage was one for the ages. He and I would still be together today, if not for Okinawa. That was nearly 20 years ago, but there is an emptiness in my soul. Wow, way to make me sad. I do not understand my contemporaries. So many girls I went to school with have taken multiple lovers. So many of my girlfriends' husbands have been unfaithful. If I am able to remain true to the ghost of a man with no chance of physical reciprocation, no potential for long conversation, how could it be so hard to love someone you can reach out and touch, someone you can joke with? Holy fucking shit, that makes me so sad. I have not had to deal with such madness at home. My parents are a perfect match in the worst way. My mother's cruelty is a perfect fit for my father's general spikes. Well. In turn, pop status enables her incessant need to gloat and feel superior. I have grown up with her cruelty and disdain for others my entire life. Even my family remains unspared. They make fun of my grandpop and his family sayings. Blood is thicker than syrup, but nothing's thicker than Elias? Damn. They mimic Grandma Gwyneth's lisp and see her kindness as a weakness. Eliath, please remember them. Not even our family's maladies from religion go unmocked. Remember, God put only one eye in miracle. I don't know if I follow that one. God only put one eye in miracle. I mean, Miracle had an affair, but, like, what does that have to... Only put one eye in Miracle? I'll think on that. I can say without a doubt in my mind that my parents have never had eyes for anyone outside their marriage. They're too self-centered to look astray. Unfortunately for you, Lauren, you were incorrect, I believe. Where are you, Lauren? Here you are. Oh, JK. Okay, never mind. These stayed together, but Elias was a cheater. Elias cheated with an Elizabeth. The only question is, how the fuck do I find out who they had? The part that upsets me. Okay, if these people are coming out with of the woodwork, claiming that they're a Rootree, would there not be thousands of articles about them? Like, how the hell is there only one or two articles about Stuart here? And that's it. How is there not more? I'm just not sure if I'm not smart enough or what. Because it's really not hitting. Nothing's hitting like it did in the last game. Or the first part of the game, rather. Let's see. Like it gives me a lot of information about the secretaries and stuff like that. But how do I find information about secretaries that aren't mentioned anywhere? And I also don't have pictures for them. Excuse me. Like, how am I supposed to go anywhere with that? I mean, the Illuminati's a whole conspiracy theory. I mean, a lot of people are quite convinced it doesn't exist. Frankly, I'm convinced it doesn't exist. I'm not even sure if this is... Actually, how many faces do I have? I have, 1, 2... Wait, are you locked in or no? 1, 2, 3... I need 4, right? Yeah. Okay. So I need one more that I'm relatively certain about, and then I can actually make headway. Why do I have a Discord message? Who's messaging me? Not right now. Go away. Not now. Let's see. Alright, duck me. Reminders in your evidence goes over the most important people and events. Yeah, I know. One of the people mentioned in your reminders is Caroline Morden. Okay, I'll check, but I'm relatively certain she's not mentioned in the reminders. Ah, Caroline Morden's art book. Okay, so she was half mentioned, and I meant... Okay, fuck you. Yeah, fuck you. After the release of 6 pieces, Caroline Morden did a television interview. Someone has uploaded a partial transcript of that interview on the television section of a messaging community. The transcript is only her answers and is missing the questions. This creates a somewhat confusing reading experience, but does give you more history about Caroline and some of her family members. Okay. 45 minutes. All right. Thanks for having me. I've never really fit into the family, so it didn't surprise me. She could have put me in if she wanted to talk about the time during my activism days when I almost got arrested for stealing the spark plugs out of all her tractors. But I don't think it really fit her narrative. Yes and no. They never tried to kick me out or send me to live on a farm, if that's what you mean, but I was already pretty unpopular, and once everyone learned why I divorced my husband, few people paid me any attention. Okay. She's my wife. Not legally, but we've been together for half our lives. Call it what it is. I was 20 and had just had my daughter. I hate to look back on that time because I was a terrible mother the first few years. I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better understanding of who I was. Still, in our family's eyes, his trip was somewhat more acceptable. Explain that. He lost a tooth and a client. Does that mean that Eloise here is one of the people he cheated with? Perhaps not. I'll keep reading. No, I couldn't stand him. Our family wrote off his behavior like he was some huge fan of romance or women, but he didn't like the entire woman. It was doubly awkward for me because he was more supportive than most. I slowly figured out it was because he assumed I would be as shallow as he was. Fantastic. This game is too much for me? In what way? Too much information all at once? When I was doing the top bit, like up here, it didn't feel that way. Like, it felt like the connections were there and I just had to follow them. You know what I mean? But ever since I've gotten to the Roottrees Mania bit, none of it makes sense. Like, it's really confusing me. Just like cheating is so fucked up worse than the Holocaust. Yeah. He was a workaholic. He seemed nice enough and did a good job. I didn't know him well. That was one of Sam's problems with our family. None of us did, except Carl. Who was? I'd rather not speak ill of the dead, not unless you want more stories about Guy. With Carl, though, all I can say is we used to be friends before they sent him to a private school. He came back a lot judgier. It made sense why they made him president. He was a lot like my father after they disciplined the fun out of it. After I started protesting the farms, he stopped returning my calls. Oh, well, he's harder to label. When I was a teenager, he was basically drunk or high or both all the time. He actually used to sell me pot. His problems with women were different than Guy's, but he never really judged me. I guess he knew it would be pretty hypocritical to judge anyone for anything. Back then, he was destructively unreliable in every way, but nowadays, he's just kind of boring and old. I prefer that to how he used to be, and to Guy and Carl, but it's still a cautionary tale. I hope I'm never that boring or old. Caroline, you seem like such an unfortunate person. You're just so fucking mean. Like, holy shit. Calm down. Okay, that didn't help me at all. None of that information seems relevant to what I'm looking up. So I need a better hint. You should look into Mary Beth's children. Okay, who the fuck is Mary Beth? Oh, Mary Beth Quaker. Well, yeah, I wanted to. But looking up Mary Beth Quaker doesn't get me anything. Oh, sorry. Still doesn't get me anything. What was she named in the end? Mary Beth Edsel? No, Sterling. No, Edsel. No. So why would you lie to me? I can't look into her children if they don't fucking exist. I mean, maybe I can just Google Stuart Clementine. Clementine isn't that popular of a last name, and you managed to find a Stuart Clementine listed. Yeah, okay, so I knew that. No web presence, which is super convenient for me, man. Nothing in the periodicals. Okay, so how do I look up Regina Clementine? No. Okay, Regina Salazar. No. Okay, so the duck was unhelpful, you stupid bitch. The spider search result for Mary Beth Clementine has both of their first names. No, it doesn't. What the absolute shit? Oh, because I was looking up the wrong fucking last names. Damn it. But I had this already. Adopted 2 children in the late 1940s, Stuart and Mark. Okay, so I forgot Mark. Did that help me immensely? Nope. Oh wait, this is probably him, huh? In the little golden shirt, huh? Hee hee ha. Okay, so maybe I can look up a Mark. Ah ha 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 ha. Fuck, it's such a simple thing. Behead the king. Leave me be. This one's a toughie. Crocodile Clementine, nice name, is listed on a website titled The Infamy List. It's a massive list of criminals who are known for odd crimes. Okay. Fantastic thing to be known for. Although Mark's nickname would imply he hails from Florida or Australia, Mark is listed as being from Los Angeles. He has a pretty big entry. He seems like a real piece of work. Hey, hello, Petriamic. How are you? I'm not feeling great, but it is what it is. I'm very tired, and every time I eat anything, my stomach feels like it's going to explode. There's a very small note about him being the basket baby of 1950, but most everything else comes from his adulthood. He lost his job in 1975 as a pilot for a regional airline after he tried to board the wrong airplane's plane. He was drunk. He was charged with trespassing and assault. In 1982, he was arrested for transporting smuggled animals over the Canadian-Mexican borders for an illegal reptile supplier in Los Angeles. He was apparently quite successful for the first 4 years, but was caught when he had to make an emergency landing in Portland after he was bitten on the foot by a crocodile, hence the nickname. Apparently, the Portland Telegraph is credited as having given him his nickname. His mugshot from this incident has been added to your photo. In 1993, he was released on parole, but his freedom didn't last long. He was arrested in 1994 in San Diego for violating it in an attempt to visit his daughter's graduation. He famously punched the principal, a man named Billy Sims. Okay, so I need to highlight Billy Sims. Let's add a new page here. But how are you doing, Petra? Billy Sims. The Portland Telegraph. And the basket baby of 1950. And let's look up the infamy list, just for fun. Nothing new. Okay, so his job is prison? Oh, prison's not an option. Jail. Smuggler. Criminal. Okay, in that case, I'm not sure. Maybe pilot then? Because he used to be a pilot, I guess. Indeed. Update the pack? That sucks. Does that mean everybody has to reset? A few sites about true stories focused on and around religion mention that in 1950 a gospel singer named Mary once found herself dealing with a real-life baby Moses. Yep. See, that's why I don't play that type of thing. Pain. Pain and suffering. Apparently, she was a rather prominent supporter of the concept of adoption, and someone decided to test how much. They left a baby on her doorstep in a basket. According to the site, she adopted him without question and raised him as her own son. Although it wasn't national news, in many circles he became known as the Basket Baby, and he even went on tour with her as he grew up. Singer, then, maybe? I don't know what his job is. None of the websites state who the women or the baby were, likely to prevent people from looking into either of the people too closely. From context, you know that it's Mary Beth Clementine, who would later be shunned due to her personal life, and her son, Mark, who would later be known as Crocodile Clementine. Well, that's about 3 days? I guess. I don't know. 3 days is still a lot of time. Portland Telegraph is a run-of-the-mill newspaper based out of Portland, Oregon. They have a website with a lot of dry statistics about how many subscribers they have, how many issues there have been, and awards they have won. I'll keep it in mind. I still need to look up I'll just keep the name. I'll just do it now. There we go. Some details about Crocodile Clementine's first major arrest. He was flying weekly between Los Angeles, Juarez, and Vancouver in a small plane. His flights were very low, literally under the radar. He was only caught because he was bit by a crocodile on the leg and had to call in a mayday because he was losing blood. He tried to tell them that he was a crop duster who somehow cut his leg on a loose piece of metal in the cockpit, but his story seemed very odd, and controllers quickly alerted the police without informing him. When he landed, they were waiting, and he was promptly arrested. 3 days considered fuck all. I mean, at least for me, 3 days is not a small amount. You know? Especially playing all day like you do. That much time, I'd never play again. News Time did a small piece about a fight between Sims and Crocodile, but tried to approach it from a different perspective. Their goal was to paint a picture of the two men involved from others who knew them best. Not only did they manage to interview Sim's wife, Carla, as well as multiple staff members at his school, but they hunted down Colleen Webb, Mark's ex-wife. Okay, let's, Colleen Webb. Colleen Webb. According to the section with Colleen, she and he met when he worked for an airline. She worked at an airport newsstand. He was a drinker and would often have wild mood swings. Fantastic. Love that about him. Very potato-based today. Cheese and bacon potato bake, a big cheese and bacon potato skin, cheesy potato croquettes, and 2 non-potato barbecue chicken. That's either a lot, or it's just a bunch of, like, little bites. When he was charged with assault of a fellow pilot in 1975 and lost his job, they divorced. At the time, she was pregnant with their second daughter, and she felt she needed to get out of there before things got worse. She left him and moved to San Diego to live with her sister, and told her oldest that her dad had to fly planes for the Army. She raised them both by herself, and although she never went through the trouble of changing their names legally, they used the web name so that nobody would connect them to her ex-husband. So let's look up... Okay, so let's look up... Ah, nothing at all there. Okay. Let's look up... In that case, let's actually go back. Probably all missing at least one screw. Well, you're probably not wrong there. Let's look up a Billy Sims here. Oh, we got a couple. Okay. We did that one already. The Portland Telegraph had an article slightly longer than most about the Billy Sims incident, mostly because the assaulter, Crocodile Clementine, had appeared in the paper before. Because of the somewhat comedic sensationalism of the events in question, and because their readers were already familiar with Mark Clementine, they filed it under a special banner called Croc Watch. It mentions that her good friend Croc Clementine was actually in attendance at the high school graduation because his daughter was walking the stage. He was apparently not allowed to attend. His ex-wife had a restraining order filed, but did so anyways. It was unknown to the school staff, including Sims at the time, who he was, but a security guard recognized him, and that's when the trouble started. Clementine was approaching the side of the stage to avoid the guard when the exchange between him and Sims took place. The article finishes by facetiously asking, what will Croc get up to next? Stay tuned for more Croc Watch. As far as you can tell, there were no more instances of Croc Watch. That screw probably isn't that important, though. I would guess it's the non-masochism screw. Butler County Times did report on Billy Sims, but the information is redundant with the basic information you can find about the incident. Okay. Billy Sims is the principal of Sandstone Canyon High School, who had his 15 minutes of fame in 1994 when he was punched by Crocodile Clementine at a graduation ceremony. Pretty much every news organization from Trustworthy to tabloids seemed to have their own take on the altercation. It wasn't the punch that captured the nation's attention. Instead, it was Billy Sims' matter-of-fact response to the threat and his comments afterwards, as heard in a now-famous audio clip from someone who was recording the ceremony. Billy saw Mark hop onto the graduation stage and said, "Sir, you'll want to sit down or we'll have a problem." Okay. At that point, Crocodile reportedly sucker-punched him in the face. Billy, apparently only slightly dazed, said, "All right, sir, I guess we'll have a problem." Clementine tried to throw another punch, but Sims anticipated it and performed a maneuver that spectators described as a wrestling move. Hey! Thank you for the raid! Tarantula! I like that name. Your profile picture's not a tarantula. What the heck? What were you playing? Welcome in. At least it actually shouted you out correctly. I don't know why I didn't do it earlier. But welcome in. How do you know me? How'd you find me? Sorry, my eyeball hurt. But to those who don't know me, my name is King. On Mondays, I play Terraria. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I play single-player games. This week, Oblivion. And Wednesdays, I usually play Pokemon. But I'm liking the Roottrees Are Dead game. So until I'm finished with the Roottrees Are Dead, and maybe another game after that, maybe I'll think on it. I'm going to stick with this until we go back to Pokemon. Tarantula, would you like a clip played? Oh, you changed your name, didn't you? Say that again? Which part? I asked if you changed your name. Think it's my other account? Ah, gotcha. Well, welcome back. Well, what name did I know you under? Sorry, my memory's not the best anymore. I'm getting old. Let's see. Sims anticipated it and performed a maneuver that spectators described as a wrestling move mixed with a backward somersault, which immediately brought both men to the floor, with Sims straddling Clementine, keeping him neutralized. As security arrived, the recording captured someone asking, "How did you do that?" And Sims' response was famously, "Trust me, I'm as surprised as anyone." Oh, I do super vaguely. How long ago was that? Actually, instead of trying to remember, I think I could see your past messages. Let's check. Let's take a look-see. What was the year? When did I play Lego City Undercover? That was a long time ago. It was 2022. That was 3 years ago. We ain't seen each other in 3 years. Well, welcome back. How was the stream? What did you play? This is just black cherry soda, by the way. All right, let's look up the school next. It's in San Diego. Oh. Okay, my bad. That wasn't useful to me. Oh, dang. Brother got old. Oh, he better be called the crocodile. Look at that face. Let's make that his face instead. Is there unemployed? Did I put it? No. Because he's in prison, so I feel like prisoner is the answer. Okay, so I've got something wrong then, because I'm at 4. Which is an issue. Pretty good. I played Dead or Alive 4. Dead or Alive 4. That's the volleyball game, right? Or am I thinking of something else? Golly, I'm still lost. There was a reference to a magazine on the Friday search results? There was? My bot. Oh. No, wait, but I didn't commit. I never looked up Chef's signature. Golly. Oh, but it's in here. Oh, but I didn't look up. It's a fighting game. What am I thinking of then? Is there not like a game series called Dead or Alive and it's like volleyball or something? Chef's signature covered Fried Eye less than a year ago, right around the time you were doing your initial investigation. Each article in Chef's signature tends to focus on a restaurant, and like the magazine's name implies, each restaurant lists the one main dish the head chef is known for. Fried Eye's signature is the samosa cone. Samosa cone. Can a vegetarian diet be trendy? No. No, it cannot. Chef's Signature, a nationally published magazine targeted towards fans of unusual restaurants, featured James and Robert Garland. Who are they related to? Garland? These are Clementine, so not here. I don't have a Garland. Damn, okay. That's fine. James and Robert Garland. Let's highlight that. 1998 issue. According to the article, the two brothers own a small walk-up window in Boston called Fried Eye, a play on the tie-dye shirts that the servers wear, that exclusively serves vegetarian dishes. Then why is it called Fried Eye? You're not frying anything, are you? Most of the offerings are heavily inspired by the powerful spices found in Thai and Indian food. Their signature dish is the samosa cone, which forms from a distance somewhat resembles traditional ice cream, complete with a waffle pattern. Instead, it contains fried potatoes, pureed peas, carrots, and a special ginger-based sauce. Wow, sounds disgusting. Robert, who is 3 years younger than James, jokes that although the age difference has left him delegated to wear the Sous-Chef jacket his whole life, he doesn't mind. As a result, James answers most of the interviewer's questions. James credits his love for food and his culinary skills to their upbringing. Most kids hate vegetables growing up, but they don't have parents like we did. My father was a chef, and my mother grew up on a farm that supplied his restaurant. My father was a chef, and my mother grew up on a farm that supplied his restaurant? I mean, I'll highlight that too, but I don't know who your parents are. Wait, does that mean this is wrong? It's not Elias, it's Gwyneth? No, but that can't be right. I'm gonna keep reading. Hold on. Don't get too carried away. That's how they met. I don't have any memories from the farm or anything like that since we moved here before I could even talk. But they told me stories. My dad's a great storyteller. He even wrote a book that partially helped fund Fried Eye. When we moved, they were looking to open their own restaurant together. Unfortunately, they never got it off the ground. Wait a minute. Garland. Here we go. Okay, so James is... I think this is James, and I think this is the other guy. I don't remember his name already. James and Robert. Okay, James. You're Robert. Garland. You are James. Garland. And you are a chef. Ah. Oh. So that's who I got wrong. Okay. Hello.
Sam reached out to me finally. I think I have you to thank for that one.
Well, I got a game the same name as made by the same developers. Oh, no shit. Okay. Why would they release a game with 2 games with the same name?
My family's in a bit of a rough patch. Even though the candy is selling better than ever, everyone is fighting over the trust. The majority of us want to dissolve it. On paper, it seems like the right decision.
Only if you dissolved it and replaced it with something else. You can't just get rid of it.
The arguments about what to do next are endless and heated. More than a few Roottrees are worried about losing their wealth.
Well, I mean, I would be too. To be fair. That's what I thought, a little confusing. Can't believe it. But yeah, I super vaguely remember you from way back when, because your name was Arachi or Arachi, but you like to be called Arachnid. And that's like all I remember, besides like playing Lego City Undercover.
I don't think we deserve it more than anyone else.
Well, you do, because you know, you own the business. What are you talking about?
I love my family, my wife, my daughters, even my son, who I hardly ever get to see. I want to keep them safe and secure, but I didn't do anything to deserve this fortune.
Kind of a stupid point.
Hell, I probably deserve it less than most. It took me way too long to get my life together.
Okay, then just add in a clause to the trust that if someone doesn't want the fortune, just you can say no. You know? Ready to stop by again? Hell yeah, it's good to see you. It's been so long. 3 years. Woo!
Okay, enough about me. Here's the deal. I can't stop the majority from voting one way or another. If you keep passing along potential Roottrees, I'll keep adding them to the list. On the other hand, there's been some leaps forward in genetics.
Ooh.
It may sound like science fiction, but we can actually determine who's in the family just by testing their DNA. What you've done so far has been very useful. Just keep filling out the tree and we'll prepare for the tests.
Word. Okay, you gave me no more evidence. So why did you visit? Why did you visit my house? If you were just gonna say nothing, you suck. Is there a sous chef option? No, just chef. Okay, just chef. Okay, you're locked in. I know for a fact you're right. You're wrong. So this picture is not Christine Farrow. We know that for sure. Unless, because she wasn't. She was a farmer in the end. She was not a secretary by the time everything wrapped up, because she was supplying vegetables and stuff to their dad. Okay, we have him locked in. I know for sure he's right. Okay, so good news. I've essentially finished this. Bad news. That leaves me with the dead end and everything else. Which really sucks for me. Okay, I got his picture right. That's good, at least. Oh, wait, no, I can keep going. Okay, here we go. When we moved, they were looking to open their own restaurant together. Unfortunately, they never got it off the ground. His line cook gig ended up being less temporary than he hoped, and she had to go back to work as a secretary. Never mind. She is a secretary. My bad. Which means the picture is wrong. Okay, back to it. After Robert was born, before we were old enough to go to school, we spent our days with my aunt. In the diner where he worked, my dad had no room for experimenting, so he'd exercise his skills at home on his days off. We'd always go shopping and cook as a family on those days, and even though we were hyper kids running around and causing a ruckus, Those are some of our family's favorite memories since we were all together. Mom always had the eye for the best vegetables for him to work with, and she did her best to pass that on to us. Hey, Holiday, how you doing? Welcome in. Is retired an option? No. According to the article, their parents, who are now retired, visit Friday often. They even have a signature dessert, the Sistine Apple. Apple pie has always been my mom's favorite. My dad always had this stupid line he used to make her laugh involving apple pie. Most people realize it's a Sistine Chapel pun and assume that's all there is to it, but it's actually secretly named after them, sort of. Well, that was not useful. Well, would I ever? Well, I have to read it. Damn it, man. But how you doing, Holiday? Welcome in. Yeah, I've been using the rubber duck way more than I normally would in a game like this. I don't like asking for hints, but each time I hit a dead end, I'm stuck. Like this part of the game, like I got this easy. I was kicking ass on this part. But this bit's really stubbing me bad. Outside legal group was brought in. That sounds interesting. Wow, gee golly, I sure wish Googling outside legal group would give me some... Spider search for the clans and trust. I did a long time ago. Motivation for most of their financial decisions. As a recap, listen to videos of doing puzzles. Well, I appreciate you coming in and visiting. The entire family earns inheritance directly from the profits. Yep. Every root tree could potentially have a say in the company's high-level operations. Historically, this has caused the family to be slow to approve any major expenditures that could dig into the profits. Grandchildren shall all have been covered under the trust, according to the wording revealed during an internal family conflict between Ron and Robbie. It seems that those who wrote the trust, Clancy Edward, at the direction of Elias, purposely deceived the rest of the family about the exact details of how it worked in an attempt to keep Sam and her father, his own twin brother, in comparative poverty. Because the rest of the family made money hand over fist, they had very little motivation to question their understanding. Sam's book revealed this to the company, and it did not go over well. Clark Rafferty LaRue took over the company, and his most celebrated move was his first official one. He ensured Sam's family would get their share. To help facilitate this, the inheritance aspect of the trust is now under the control of a third party, Ruby Legal Enterprises. Okay. This ensures that the financial motivations of Roottrees family members will not interfere with the investigations into potential new Roottrees. According to Clark's letter, however, some family members are still doing their best to slow the investigation. Ruby Legal Enterprises is the name of the law firm that has been hired by the Roottrees Candy Company. The company is named after its head lawyer, Ruby Spratt. Screw the Roottrees and all this mumbo jumbo. I'm trying to find who cheated, Holiday. Guy Hudson. Suffice it to say, he banged. You know, at least this lady only had a baby with her husband. Okay, good on her. But, you know, he banged so many people. And apparently these guys did too. Also, look at this face. How did he bang? Sheesh, I'd bang him too. I mean, look at that beautiful head of hair. I don't blame you. Nice, you made progress. A very little amount. Like, I'll be 100% with you. I have not made as much progress as I wanted. And it's only because I used the rubber duck. You can't find much about the... I'm going to highlight Ruby Spratt, by the way. You can't find much about the company from before this year, though all of the articles tell the same tale. After the fiasco of 6 Pieces and the revelation that the Roottrees internal law group was complicit in a cover-up, they hired outside counsel. The Ruby Legal Enterprises group now seems to have ties to multiple aspects of the Roottrees Corporation, including the Candy Company and Root. They were recently in the news due to a high-profile lawsuit raised against Sisley Sanchez. Okay. I'm going to highlight Root as well. First of all, let's look up Ruby Spratt. Ruby Spratt, like her legal company, is relatively elusive. The most complete source of information you can find from... Also, hello, Blue, how are you? from before her time with the Roottrees is from a website for a magazine owned by a major airline. She was the subject of one article from a recurring series about modern-day success stories. Major airline. Is that relevant? Probably not. Ruby grew up in foster care, but excelled at school and earned a scholarship at Mid-Eastern University. Gonna highlight that. There, she graduated at the top of her legal class and was quickly hired as a lawyer for a prominent firm. There are a few high-profile corporate-involved cases she was a part of. Once was as a legal consultant for a class action lawsuit against a manufacturer of steering wheel covers. Another was to help a gas station chain in the hometown of Portland with the rollout of a promotion that allowed gas station customers the ability to bet on the price of gas. The blurb ends by calling her new firm a double threat. Her company's services are a cross between a traditional lawyer and a PR manager. Okay, so I need to look up Ruby Spratt in the periodicals. Yep, there she is. Clark Rafferty LaRue, as well as Ruby Spratt and her company, Ruby Legal Enterprises, were featured in Business Watch after the company took over as the keepers of the Clancy Trust. There's an article about that process that interviews both Clark and Ruby. It seems that Ruby actually approached the Roottrees sometime in late March, after the Roottree Rift, but well before Roottree Mania. An accomplished but relatively low-profile lawyer, she offered to work for very little money, so long as she could be a public face to build her reputation. The family quickly jumped on this chance, as many family members often attempt to spend as little as possible. After looking at the Clancy Trust more carefully than anyone had in years, Ruby came to the conclusion that Clancy Edward Roottree's implementation was not legally sound and there would be constant legal challenges without some modifications. The family decided to put her in charge, both legally and as a public face, to prevent further issues. Her first move, as sort of a trial run before she was even hired permanently, was to help them draft a public statement accepting Sam into the family and declaring that they'd begin to address the Clancy Trust. This went well, and they officially hired her in early April. Ruby Legal is now in charge of many financial aspects of the company, including verifying any claims to the trust and organizing the various charitable causes such as scholarships that have been set up in the name of the deceased. Let's read the Telegraph next. Alright, Holiday. I appreciate you stopping by. Ruby Spratt was featured in the Portland Telegraph when she was in high school in an article called Local Teen Making Change for Foster Care System. According to the article, Ruby Spratt grew up in the foster care system, was apparently the valedictorian of her school, and was a Girl Scout who, at the time of the article, was earning her gold award. I don't know what that means. This required a project to help the community, and Ruby chose to raise money to build a fountain she called Foster Fountain. Let's highlight that. The fountain has a few small pedestals that stick up high above the water. People are expected to toss coins into the fountain for good luck and will be encouraged to aim for the top of the pedestal. All the coins scraped from the bottom are donated to Portland's foster care system. That's pretty nice. Alright, I like that. A coalition of local businesses that sponsor the fountain have committed to matching any of the donations that successfully land on targets. Newstime briefly covered a lawsuit between Ruby Spratt and Piketty magazine surrounding Sisley Sanchez. Let's highlight Piketty. I like that word, Piketty. They said that Sisley didn't have the rights to redistribute the photos in the magazine of Guy Hudson. Piketty apparently announced that they would be pulling their issue the following day, the moment that Ruby Legal Enterprises threatened them. This caused the issue to sell faster than any other in the magazine's history, though only for a day. Even people that would never have normally purchased it went out of their way to buy one, just in case it would be worth something someday. It especially caught the eye of conspiracy theorists who assumed that anything worth suing over would have to be hiding something. An expert legal analyst from Newstime states that it was unlikely that Ruby could have had the story pulled if it had gone to court, and Piketty likely got more eyes on it than it would have if the Roottrees had just ignored it. So, first up, let's look up Piketty. Piketty is a category of flower. There we go. Piketty magazine is a publication that, as far as you can tell, has no consistent theme. It tends to contain tabloid-esque articles that appeal to a wider variety of audiences and appears in many grocery stores near the checkout line. Unlike traditional tabloids, it doesn't typically feature celebrities on the cover. Instead, it tends to latch onto and create sensationalist headlines about whatever subject appears to be popular at any given time. In recent years, this has included Beanie Babies, Magic Eye images, and even Red Bull. It has often come under fire for printing fiction along with facts. Piketty gets around this by stating in every issue that all of its articles are all the hearsay that's fit to print. At one point, Piketty ran an article about Sisley Sanchez, an author. She claims to have written an unread book about Guy Hudson. The article was not even the main focus of the issue, yet the magazine was threatened legally by the Roottrees Corporation. That particular issue, the Big Sass Seabass, okay, highlight that, was pulled from shelves. It has now become a collector's item, especially amongst conspiracy theorists attempting to figure out what the Roottrees Company was hiding. You find a recently finished online auction that listed a copy at over $1,000, though nobody bid on it. Lamau, get fucked. So, what was her name? Big Sass Seabass. In an issue that focused on a talking toy fish and the demonic messages it supposedly said as the batteries ran low, Piketty had an article about a canceled book by Sisley Sanchez. The book's subject was Guy Hudson, and the issue was said to contain pictures that Sisley did not have the rights to publish. Because of the pictures, this issue was pulled from store shelves, making it the subject of some conspiracies and an instant collector's item. Due to this recall, the version found in these archives is incomplete. Okay, let's look up Guy Hudson. Same thing. Okay, well, let's look up Sisley Sanchez. Yep, okay, same thing. Let's look up Sisley Sanchez. Sisley Sanchez is an author best known for Portrait of a Changed Man, released in 1979. Her follow-up, Foreign Gospel, let's highlight both of those, did not perform as well as critically, but still sold quite respectably. She has written a few more books since then, including a biography of Van Gogh, but her first two are her claim to fame. According to a site about authors, Sisley is known for her nonfiction, with a focus on exploring darkness and the human psyche. Recently, Sisley appeared in a magazine called Piketty with an article about a book she had been commissioned to write for Guy Hudson. The magazine and Sisley herself were immediately issued a cease and desist due to its inclusion of pictures that she never had the rights to publish. The issue was pulled from store shelves, making it an instant collector's item. Okay, let's look up... Oh, shit. Oh, no, okay. Let's look up Root. The Root website has a small memorial section dedicated to deceased members of the family, but it contains no new information. Their most recent catalog, spring of 1999, had an entirely black cover with no text. On the leadership page, you learn that Root is currently managed by a designer who was apparently Brenda White's second in command. You don't recognize her name, and she seems unrelated. There's also a scholarship page. On it, you find information about the Roottrees Sisters Fashion Scholarship. It's awarded to 3 underprivileged high school girls each year who wish to pursue a career in fashion. Apparently, it also gives them an opportunity to show off their designs on professional models on a real runway. According to the site, the fund was created directly from the shares that would have contributed to the inheritance of the Roottrees Sisters. Like other aspects, it's managed by Ruby Legal Enterprises. Nothing new there. Let's look up Mid-Eastern University. Mid-Eastern University is a notable private college that advertises itself as midway between Maine and Miami. Their mascot is the Spectres, though they are not known for their sports programs as much as their education. Their legal and language departments are their pride and joy, though they also have fairly extensive computer science and robotics programs. Along with other prestigious schools that haven't quite reached the notoriety of Ivy League schools, some refer to it as Little Ivy. The college has embraced this, calling their newspaper the Herald. The Herald? Which is a combination of Hedera, the scientific name for Ivy, and Herald. Okay, gotcha. I like that. Major boss last night in my gacha game? Which one? Their website boasts they have a historical technology museum on campus, including a still-functioning computer from the 1960s that takes up a full room. They also have a printing press that you use to print one special year-end issue of the Herald each year. The Herald is a school newspaper of Mid-Eastern University. It appears to be available in your periodic archive. Run Goddess. Have you told me about that before? Because you're not hitting for me. Ruby Spratt. Ruby Spratt graduated top of her class from the Mideastern's Legal College. Her valedictorian speech was somewhat controversial at the time, as it was quite serious, with a heavy focus on wealth inequality. This didn't go over well with the predominantly middle to upper class audience in attendance. It's in Gacha Hell and Polo server? I think I'm in Polo server. I'll take a look. Later on, obviously. The editor of the Herald at the time said Ruby, unsatisfied by simply earning her place at Mideastern with a full scholarship, went on to earn a captive audience of her peers with a perfect GPA. It felt like the ideal occasion for a celebration of an undoubtedly incredible individual. However, by the end of her speech, there were many in the audience that wished that neither of those events had transpired. It was a passionate attempt to use her soapbox to proselytize her fellow students and their parents into the religion of poverty. But unfortunately, judging by the silence, they remained unconverted. Okay, what about Lucy Lang? Ha ha ha! The Herald has a story about their school's robotics team, Team Talonclaw. It lists 3 students members and talks a bit about their history, including their interest in robotics. It's a less interesting Gods of Nikki. Is Gods of Nikki the cross-dress? Not the cross. The gender swap one. I was about to say cross-gender, but that's not what it's called. The only one that catches your attention is Lucy Lang. She grew up in China as Min Lang, but came to the U.S. specifically to attend university. I'm going to highlight that. She says she grew up around factory-scale machines that assembled products that would be shipped all over the world, and the moving parts and automation fascinated her. However, as she has progressed through her major, she has become obsessed with smaller, more powerful hydraulics, such as the mechanism that closes the Talonclaw's weapon. And in addition to robotics, she loves linguistics. One of her hobbies since coming to the States has been collecting accents. In her spare time, she practices not only removing any trace of her native inflection, but also quickly switching between multiple different regional accents. She feels her personal best is the Southern Belle, but her favorite is the Valley Girl due to its use in popular culture. Who does that sound like? Why do I have more Discord messages? Not now. Shit. Boss run? Yeah, that game is a boss run, I think. I haven't really looked into it, to be honest. It's been a while. I played it for like 2 minutes because I thought it'd be funny. And it was fine. Little too desperate for money. Wrong button? Same thing, then. Okay. Let's check out our new evidence. Piketty! Basselbub? Could this popular gift be filling homes with satanic messages? The utensil that will help you lose 50 pounds. This is the issue of Piketty magazine that contained an article about Cicely Sanchez. The story concerned an unreleased book she had written about Guy Hudson. It seems that he used photos of Guy that Cicely did not own the rights to publish. Unfortunately, the magazine was issued a cease and desist by the lawyers. The version you found in your periodical search had the relevant pages removed, rendering the magazine useless, unless you want to read about a potentially demonic fish toy. I do. I would, yes. I would like to. If you don't mind. But how do I have 8 pieces of fucking intuition to do with this? Yeah, it's the same thing. How do I have 8 pieces of intuition to do with this? It's a single page. Yeah, I'd read that same. Especially for only $2.95, I tell you what. This is a photo of Lucy Lang, aka Lang Min, with Talonclaw, the robot she worked on at Mideastern University. You found it in the school's newspaper. Okay, so her face looks like this. And her real first name is Min. And she is a student, college. So that's 2 that I'm relatively certain I did correctly. So still no idea how to go further with Suzanne Third. No idea what to do with Christine Farrow, and no idea how to get Elizabeth any further than she already is. Okay. How does that have 8 pieces of intuition to it? Maybe I can look up Big Sass Sea Bass, specifically here. Big Sass Sea Bass is a talking fish that sits on a fake mount on your wall. When you press the button and speak into it, it mimics your voice and then insults you. Many people consider it a rip-off of a more popular wall-mounted communication-based fish decoration, but the packaging makes it clear that this one does not sing. Instead, what the advertisements say set Big Sass Sea Bass apart from its competitors is a sardonic and sarcastic wit that will leave you reeling with laughter. It's oceans of fun for the whole family. You'll be hooked on this big sassy bass. The words reeling, oceans, and hooked are conveniently bolded to ensure you recognize how clever the copywriter was. Recently, it appeared on the cover of Piketty magazine in the same issue that a Roottrees-related article appeared. That issue was removed from stores after the Roottrees sued the magazine. I knew that. Okay, let's look up, Stysley Sanchez. And what are the book's names again? Portrait of a Changed Man. This book's description has this to say. What if everything you stand for, everything you know to be true today, could disappear in an instant? All of your politics, relationships gone in the blink of an eye. Would you still be you? Stysley Sanchez tells this powerful true story about a man who woke up after being saved from drowning in his backyard pool and became an entirely different person. Included are interviews from those that knew him best before, as well as a one-on-one chat that paints an entirely different picture. You won't be able to put it down without wondering, what if that were me? Okay, and Foreign Gospel. Foreign Gospel tells the tale of a man from the Catholic Church who claims he was told by God that he should travel to Thailand and began to preach, specifically with the goal to convert 10,000 people. He returned to the United States after just over 2 years, claiming to have succeeded. This book tells his version of the story, but the author, Stysley Sanchez, also traveled to Thailand to investigate these claims and talk with some of the so-called converted. Okay. What if I put Guy Hudson here? Rooster? Commission to write for Guy Hudson. So what was it? What was his name? You fuck. All right, give me another hint. The missing issue of Piketty by Stysley Sanchez attracted a particular group of people. Yeah, conspiracy theorists. I knew that. Well, I did, but I don't remember what the name was. Updated website? I looked that up earlier. It didn't. Hold on. It's reminders. Here it is. Chris Raff 75. It just says through a conspiracy site. If you want me to then search up the fucking conspiracy site, you need to include the name of it in your little section here, buddy. The Roottrees Curse. Okay, thanks. Could have put that in the fucking reminders, but cool. During your initial search, you came across Thomas Overwood's conspiracy page about the Roottrees. 8 months later, the page still exists and is thriving. The visitor counter has reached 7 digits. Many older articles have been replaced. It seems the recent uprising in Roottree news has left Thomas Overwood with a constant stream of events to base new theories on. More than one of his theories involve Roottree deaths being faked. According to Overwood, statistically, when you have this many high-profile people who have died in a family, the odds are that one of them faked their death. It's just math. This newfound focus on death faking seems to coincide with a post mentioning that he's begun believing the guy's not dead theory. In his own words, my eyes have been opened, all this beginning to make too much sense. Yeah, the whole fucking conspiracy lie. One of his posts details the belief that Ron Roottree is still in charge. Gwen Roottree's death was faked, and that Clark is only there to throw people off. Apparently this allowed Ron to travel to France to develop a new candy recipe in secret. Another is about the rapper 5Ps. He can't possibly be a Roottree. One of his first album songs, when he was performing under the devil name, was actually mentioned that he wanted to have sex with Raina. Yes, I do recall that article. It is what it is. Truck poop packages of illegal substances? Are they stupid? You've lost me. Not even Sam Madsen is spared. According to Overwood, the author of 6 Pieces isn't real. Sam Madsen is an anagram for Am Madness. What? They're purposely... What? Anyway, he claims that by using 6 Pieces, with Lauren Roottree's book as a one-time pad, he has begun to decrypt a cipher. Most of the ciphers seem meaningless, but he managed to pick out the words people and vastness, and is working on figuring out what it means. There's also a request at the bottom. Next year, 2000, is a leap year, and Overwood is looking for funds and volunteers to catch the Rootrees red-handed in Operation RT-29. He specifically mentions not to volunteer if you've ever drunk Spirit Cola, but doesn't go into why. I remember that. I mean, I can look it up again, but I do remember that. Yeah, okay. So maybe, just Thomas Overwood. Maybe I just look up the Roottrees Curse. That hint wasn't good. Curious new conspiracy theory. Search. Oh, yeah, I guess I could have. The Guy's Not Dead conspiracy stems from a website that focuses on clues that Rootrees have supposedly hid all over the place. This includes on candy wrappers and print advertisements and television commercials, in their jingles, etc. The story, according to the website, is that Guy Hudson was a terrible president of the Roottree Company and introduced multiple failed products. Something needed to be done that would put the company immediately and instantly back in the favor of consumers. So they killed off Guy Hudson and replaced him with a new president. This move immediately garnered sympathy, and the company recovered the next year, more popular than ever. The next president stayed much further out of the limelight, and some people even theorized that he was simply Guy Hudson in an elaborate disguise, which is why he stopped appearing in public. Oh, yeah, I mean, actually, kind of wild, but Ron does kind of look like him, just blonde. And a little less sideburn, I guess. My man does have the, certified sideburn look. The people who run the site are asking for help. They're certain there's a clue to all this that accidentally leaked in a banned article from the magazine Piketty. On their page is a scan of the magazine's cover. The interview with Cicely Sanchez about Guy Hudson, and some photos. You add them to your evidence. All right. This photo is the first from a magazine interview with Cicely Sanchez in Piketty. The issue of Piketty magazine that it came from was pulled from the shelf, but you managed to find it online. Piketty does not label its individual photos. Both photos were instead under the shared label. Cicely was provided these photos by the Roottrees Company for use in her book. In the background of the photo, there is a Christmas tree. Well, there's another picture for Guy. Looking a little creeper there. So the Christmas tree. So I need to look at the evidence. Here it is. So this was... When was this article? It was only 19... It doesn't spread that far. Christmas tree. Okay, so we had 2 Christmas tree bashes. So let's check who was working at the time. Susan Ford. It could be Susan. You're for another Sin Uno dominant stream. Sin is never going to dominate Uno ever again. Not if I have my way about it. So maybe that's Sue. But what about her? No, it's got to be this one then. So whoever this is. Because this picture is next to her. Okay, good to know. I'll keep that in mind. Funny? What do you mean funny? This photo is the first from a magazine interview with Cicely Sanchez in Piketty. The issue of Piketty magazine that it came from was pulled from the shelf, but you managed to find it online. Piketty does not label its individual photos. Right. So we have another picture of Guy, because once again, Guy takes so many fucking photos. A picture of Zach. And a picture of a blonde woman. Do I recognize this person? Maybe that was Christine? I'll come back to it. I'm not certain about that one yet. I'm still thinking on that one. Here we go. Now I have some pages. You claim to have been paid a significant amount to write a book about one of the Roottrees, Guy Hudson. He was president for a short period at the end of the 1970s, right? Yeah, I met him on New Year's Eve, actually. The last night of 1978. Guy liked to throw big parties. I was just coming off of Changed Man and looking for my next project. When his wife learned who I was, she invited me to the party and they courted me to talk about a book. That was the first time anyone recognized me from my work. I had finally made it. The book they asked me to write sounded great. But then none of the stuff that made him interesting was allowed to stay. Anything with even the slightest threat to Guy's image ended up gonzo. What was the stuff that made him interesting? At his core, Guy was not complicated. In fact, I think I can boil him down to 2 traits. First, he wanted to be seen as the second coming of the great Elias Roottree. And second, he'd never be satisfied living the life he needed to be seen that way. He had his fortune and good looks, and he really liked to exploit that to pick up women. But he couldn't let anyone else know, so it cost him a lot to cover it up. That was the only interesting aspect of Guy. He was James Bond trying to convince people he was Mr. Rogers, I guess. Mr. Rogers, really? Maybe that's not the best metaphor, but Elias Roottree was boring as all hell and all about family. Guy did everything he could to be seen that way. After my first draft, he sent me this garbage book, The Roottrees Legacy, with Elias on the cover. The last time he and I had even switched out his... rephrase, sorry. The last time he and I met, he had even switched out his orange suits for the same green ones Elias wore. Let's look up the Roottrees Legacy really fast. Family Man, The Roottrees Legacy by Bess Williams was a very poorly received book about Elias Roottrees. There are a few copies of the original published in 1920, but it was recently republished by the same publishing company that printed Lauren's Diary for schools. It seems they wished to capitalize on Roottrees mania. It did not work. Okay, by Bess Williams. So, Bess Williams. A reprinting of an old book about Elias Roottrees. It's blatant corporate propaganda. Okay, well, I kind of figured it would have more information than that, but that's fine. Not Mr. Rogers, more Vin Diesel. More like, I don't know, does Vin Diesel smash a lot? I don't know Vin Diesel. And remember Fancy Flavors? Guy knew that part of Elias's legacy was the 5-piece flavors, so that's what Guy tried to do too. Caviar was a disaster here, but it was actually somewhat popular in Brazil for whatever reason. In Christmas 1979, he went to Brazil to open the Roottrees Brazil factory. Guy was always hopping around the world trying to recreate that success. So how come the book never came out? It's complicated. I had an out in my contract. Surprisingly, Guy signed the contract my lawyers wrote without running it by anybody's legal department. Actually, did I ever? No. I could pull my name off the book at any time, but Guy still got the content. After I left, it probably got a lot harder to convince any real publisher to give it their time. Okay. He was the president, right? Do you know why he never released it himself? If I had to guess, his family very wisely put a stop to it. Mid-1981, months after I'd already moved on, he called me back and showed me a final draft. Do you know how expensive it is to publish one copy of a book? It had my name on it in big, shiny, embossed letters. Like all problems in his life, throwing money at me was his attempt to win me back. But it had half the page count, and the narrative was torn to bits. No thanks. The dinner was good. Imported steak that likely cost as much as a month of my mortgage, and we all got pretty drunk. He sent his mistress, Susie something, into the bathroom to proposition me. Poor girl. Okay, so I'm assuming you're Susie. Wait, Susie something? I remembered her from our trip overseas. She was too good for him. Anyways, he died soon after, and that was the last it ever came up. Wait, so this is Susan? That can't be right then, because this is the only husband with a picture. This spouse doesn't have a picture. Because the only Susie we get is a Susan. I'll continue looking. Remembered her from a trip overseas. She was too good for him. Anyways, he died soon after, and that was all that ever came up. So Susan Ford, yes, that was the last one confirmed. What can you tell us about the family? Any insight into the scandals from the recent book by Sam Madsen? I actually haven't read it. I just skimmed the sections on Guy to see why people were suddenly calling me up to ask about the man. I'd say she did well for what she had to work with. She only had rumors, whereas I spent time tailing him. Sometimes he knew, sometimes he didn't. He invited me to join them when dealing with Roottrees Brazil, but I actually had people on him when he went to Australia, France, and China too. When he met with someone, I'd figure out who they were and how they were involved. Doubly so if the meeting happened when he didn't want me to be around. Despite his best efforts, I got the whole truth, including things even his family never knew. For example, the daughter of his business partner in Australia, I think her name was Robin. He and she definitely spent a few nights together that he didn't want his family to know about. Okay, Robin. I'm assuming then, I didn't mean to close that. I'm assuming then that you are probably Robin. Robin what? I'm not sure yet, but I'll get there. Madsen got things wrong. Sam mentions Guy's affairs and treats them like most people logically would think to treat them, like the infidelity was a problem for Patricia. When his wife first approached me, though, it wasn't to talk, if you get my meaning. On paper and in public, it was a marriage like any other, but in reality, it was more of a mutually beneficial arrangement. They both got what they wanted out of it. The same thing. Oh yeah, I guess they did say before that they were swingers. Yeah. What was that? I'm assuming I only have to spell it out so you can get it in writing for your readers. Women. Patricia enjoyed the company of women, and the swinger scene made that more accessible. I told her I wasn't interested in her and Guy. I found out later that if I had said yes, her next question would have been whether or not her husband actually had to be there too. Guy, on the other hand, was seen in a traditional marriage, and at the same time could bed any women that found him charming. I can assure you that was exactly the type of marriage he was interested in. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to look up Roottrees Brazil. Maybe that'll give me a hint about these two. Edson Soares heard they were playing a new factory. So Edson Soares. I read all this before is the worst part. Alright, hit me again. There's a secretary in Piketty Photo 2. Due to the timing of Zach's retirement, there's only one person this could be. Piketty Photo 2, that's this, yeah? The timing of Zach's retirement. Here it is. 1978. So this happened in 1978. Gotcha. Okay, so that was Susan Ford. Okay, so can confirm this is Susan Ford. So that leaves me with 2 that I have correct. Okay, that doesn't help me that much, but you know, that is a good hint. Next. Christine Garland is the only secretary relevant to our investigation who was at the company during Zach's retirement. Wait, what? Oh, wait, so this was her. Oh. Fuck. These hints aren't good. Results for Edson Soares mentioned a wife? It did? I just looked him up. The car company? What about the car company? Which car company? Sonia. So, Sonia Soares. There's a news anchor in Brazil named Flavio Soares, who has a mother named Sonia. Flavio Soares is a young Brazilian newscaster with a bit of a cult following. The discourse surrounding him is, to put it in polite terms, lewd. There's a website about something called fanfiction that has a small section dedicated to it. Fair, but a lot of the time when it points me in that direction, it's something that I already like. I either already knew because I already had this picture there. But then it was like, oh, this can only be one but it confused me because I checked the company records and Susan was the only one that worked there at the time. This person was not listed whenever Zach retired. So the hint was a bad one. A website about something called fanfiction that has a small section dedicated to him. It seems that women, and some men, of a wide variety of ages and writing skill, tend to find him worthy of inclusion in their stories. Okay, so this is most likely... Am I misspelling his name? Oh, Soares. Oh, my bad. So this is Flavio. So this is going to be Robin. This is going to be Sonia Source. Okay, in that case, I have no idea who... she is. He is a newscaster. She... I'm going to assume housewife until I know anything more. Actually, I'll go back. Put in charge of a television station. Television? In charge of a CEO? What is in charge of what job is in charge of a television station? Director? Maybe. I'll come back to it. Worthy include you skim some of the tales there and learn that a common thread is he's currently dating a supermodel named Ashley York. Many stories either seem to ignore her existence or get her out of the picture rather quickly. Okay. That's pretty funny. Shit. They want him so bad they're cutting people out. There are also more traditional fan sites that list some things about him, including his age, 18, his zodiac sign, Libra, his favorite food, grilled steak, and his mother's name, Sonia. Also, it seems that Flavio translates to golden-haired. One website with a signed publicity photo of Flavio seems to confirm this. So who is Ashley York? Ashley York is a British supermodel who does ads for perfume, clothing, and jewelry. She has been the subject of some controversy in the past few months, having been protested by PETA for wearing fur on the cover of some magazines. She's dating a young Brazilian news anchor named Flavio Soares, which has brought them both into the limelight. Let's look you up on periodicals. Teen Blast. Ashley York, a British model, appeared on the cover of Teen Blast wearing a fur shawl 3 months ago. This appearance doesn't lead to any useful information, but another more recent appearance in text only mentions she dating Flavio Soares. In it, a Teen Blast reporter asks how they met. I was in Rio for Carnival and he was on one of the parade floats. I had no idea who he was, but I liked what I saw and told my people to invite him to the party I was going to. I felt pretty stupid once I realized that we were going to his party. Well, his mother's party. She runs a media empire down there called Trends. I'm not even going to try to say that. Actually, it's Trans Sao Paulo. So that's not actually that complicated. PETA the horse is here? Huh? Is a massive media group owned and run by a mysterious woman named Sonia Alves. Okay. Alves. It seems Sonia Alves is a common name in Brazil, so she has shortened her name to Nia to stand out in the public's eye. According to a history page that's focused on her company and vague, unsearchable details, Nia received a significant inheritance in 1980 and invested it in many different manufacturing businesses in her hometown in Brazil. At the same time, she had just begun to learn the ins and outs of running a television network. She continued to work. Actually, I'm gonna make her CEO again because she like runs it, so it's got to be CEO. 1988, when Brazil began its period of reform, she felt this was the perfect opportunity to launch her own media company using her investment and connections. Now, her company owns television networks, magazines, newspapers, and advertising firms. After doing some translating, the page about Leah lists her as unmarried. It does not go into any other relationship history. Searching for Nia online, you learn that she stays out of the spotlight. She doesn't even appear at shareholder meetings. She sends a proxy. Oh, yeah, they divorced. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's fine, okay. I was really confusing myself. I was like, every single one of these says they were married at some point or other, so what are you talking about? Okay, what about... What a face. Looks like I got 4. All right. Damn, clapping cheeks with the extras. Okay, so I've officially covered every single one of Guy Hudson's affairs, except for these 2. So this is correct. So Alves is the first name not right? You go by Nia, but your name is Sonia. I guess I'll put Nia. And I still don't have a picture of Susan. This part's done. Still have no idea who Mark Clementine's banging, like, to make kids. I don't know who his kids are. And I still haven't found a picture of Elizabeth or any information about Elias's kids. Guy really needs to chill. Guy, you need to stop having kids. I mean, you're dead now, but before you die, you should have stopped having kids. I'm just going to go for a hint again. I'm not even going to fuck with it. You have a photo of Guy looking amorous at the time. Correct. I'll be real, though. Guy looks amorous in damn near every picture I have of him. Like, to be upfront with you, he looks like he's ready to bang in every picture I find. She is the woman in the 4th affair, yes. Yeah. I do that. Yeah, I've got, yeah, right there. You know, right there. That's her. I already knew that. That's not news. A media mogul. What the fuck is a media mogul? She owns a company that makes her a fucking CEO. You piece of shit. What the hell? Genghis Khan? Well, no, Guy never did that. He was just a horny guy. To put it simply. The Billy Sims incident might have been covered in other sources. It was. I already know that. In Piketty. I did. In fact, I'm relatively certain I read that. Oh, no, I did not. I didn't think, because I didn't have Piketty at the time. Piketty magazine is kind of sleazy, so they're not afraid to publish a few details that more reputable news publications normally wouldn't. You look up the Billy Sims incident, and it seems they did report on it. You gain a few new bits of information, though it might not be useful. Media growth. Oh, no, they, like, she doesn't even own shareholdings or anything like that. Like, she owns them. Like, she's the owner. She founded them. That's why it confused me that it wouldn't be CEO, it would be media mogul, but whatever. Billy Sims was once arrested for throwing a Molotov cocktail at a company. Okay, that's a fun first step into the school principal. Oh. According to a police paperwork, Crocodile Clementine's bail was paid for by Toasterito Jacobson. Okay. Been offline for a bit? Welcome back, Azure. You never did tell me the cool fact. Piketty interviewed other students that were at the event to find out if anyone knew anything, and the word going around was that Mark Clementine showed up because his daughter Mary. Okay, well, Mary. Last name would be Clementine. I presume she got married. We'll find out later. No, wait, this was recent, wasn't it? Okay, JK, I'm not... No. We'll put Mary here. Sure, hit me with it. That's what I said earlier. Student... She just graduated, so... And, okay, now let's look up Toasterito. Fuegos Fiesta, a regional Mexican fast food chain held by a competition in 1993 that offered free meals for life to anyone that legally changed their name to Tostarito. The Tostarito was a burrito with a cylindrical tostada shell inside the flour tortilla. According to a few different sources, Tostarito Jacobson used to be named Lucinda. Interesting. Interesting choice. That's all I'm going to say. There's a Crime Blotter article about Edith Jacobson that also mentions a Helen Roottrie and a Lucinda Jacobson. Wait. Wait, I thought... Yeah, because Edith married Miracle Jr. Oh, and okay, so this was literally just an article meant to re-bolster the fact that Mark Clementine is Miracle's son, on account of the fact that Edith, Miracle's daughter-in-law, bailed them out. Or Edith's sister, I guess. Not super useful for what I need. Hit me. One of Crocodile Clementine's children? True, I already did it. But yeah, I'm ready, Asher. As soon as you want to tell us the cool fact. Mary Webb. Oh, because they divorced. Damn. Alright, yeah. My bad. Forgot about that. I forgot. A Mary Webb in San Diego has a website called Web on the Web. I love that. More power to you. That's so powerful. Apparently, it's a personal travel diary that also doubles as an advertisement for her travel agency. Okay. So, she's not a student. Travel agent. Their descriptions of Mary's services, including booking flights and cruises, almost all of them involve extremely niche audiences. It seems Mary is the #1 agent when it comes to booking spiritual vacations aboard ghost ships and in specific hotel rooms that are said to be haunted. She also has a dedicated section for more traditional modern cruises that cater to specific groups, such as fans of boy bands. In the diary entry, she talks about the trip she's personally taken, and uses that as an opportunity to feature descriptions of amenities and excursions that the ships offer, even when you're on them to see a specific band or a ghost. There's also pictures of ships, hotels, landmarks, and places she visited. There's also a picture of Mary herself with a ship in the background. One of her diary entries actually mentions the day the photos were taken. She was allowed onto the ship on a port day in San Diego with a professional photographer she knows. So let's look up Web on the Web here. Oh, is that it? You're not going to show me the... Oh, okay. That's fine. Ghost ship from the 1800s. It was lost at sea. Company called Corporate Composition Photography. I'll come back to that. First, I want to put the picture. Corporate Composition Photography is a photography studio that was listed on a few different sites for businesses in San Diego. It seems to have been possible to hire them to take professional quality photos for businesses of all sorts. As far as you can tell, it appears to no longer exist. The company is also mentioned on a photography site with some IRC chat logs. It seems the site is the personal page of a member of an IRC photography channel. They have archives of logs they've been saving since 1993. One of them was from 1996, when Val, the former head photographer for Corporate Composition Photography, did a Q&A with their users about taking pictures for promotional materials and print ads. Most of the questions and answers are pretty technical. They not only seem irrelevant, but generally go over your head. One of the questions, however, mentions that Val was on the cover of Telephoto and asks about Iraq. The question was quickly shut down by the person running the Q&A, who said Val does not wish to answer any questions from his photojournalism days, nor does he wish to talk about LBP. Please keep this on subject of commercial photography. Let's highlight Val. I'm not sure what I can do with Val yet, but I will keep it in mind. Let's look up Telephoto. Photography magazine. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, I couldn't have figured that out myself. Really? Okay. Okay, let's, Val. Mary Webb? San Diego? Really? Okay, what is LBP? LBP seems like it stands for Lebanese Pound, Lower Back Pain, Lead-Based Paint, Low Blood Pressure, Louisiana Board of Pharmacy, Long Beach Peninsula. Lynch Building Plastics, Luxury Bridal Photography, Lexington Business Payroll, Lincoln Baby Photography, Laura's Bras and Panties, and Logline Books and Publishing. Fantastic! Does any of these come up with anything? Nope. This one? Photography business, which is a good start. Unfortunately, it seems like it's located in Ireland and its owner is named Nicholas. He goes by Nick Luxury, but you doubt that's his real name. Okay. Lexington Business Payroll? Nope. Lincoln Baby Photography. Gotta be that one. Lincoln Baby Photography seems like a solid lead, as it mentions a Val, an award-winning photographer, on the page. It's a business in Beacon, New York, and on the site it has a picture of a baby and a camera caption with Cam Lincoln reaching for his namesake. I guess he takes after his father, Val. At the bottom, the website says copyright 1998, 1999. The picture has been added to your evidence. I don't know any Lincolns. Where are the Lincolns? Maybe this is the Lincolns. Hold on. So, Lincoln Val, but most likely it's Lincoln Webb. Yeah, Val Webb. And most likely it's a full name, so Valerie. Married. Another Lincoln. Sorry, what did it say? Cam Lincoln reaching for his namesake. So Cam, probably. No, his name is probably Cam, isn't it? So no idea who this is then. So in that case, maybe I'll unknown that. Pew pew. What? Photographer's not on here? Fuck. Damn it. Okay, unhelpful, but that's fine. Let's look at this. You found this image on the Lincoln Baby Photography website. It's labeled as Cam Lincoln reaching for his namesake. Oh, because he's named after a camera. He's a baby. His job is child. Okay, well that helps a little bit, I guess. I don't know who the dad is. Alright, hit me again. Then you have Val's last name, you can find some new information. You lied to me, son. You've lied. On the results for Lincoln baby photography. Ah, okay, so that's why Val wasn't coming up with anything. I had to add the last name. Fucking annoying. Val Lincoln was featured in Telephoto. The cover, which featured one of his photos, as well as portions of the article, have been added to your evidence. Ah, okay, see, that's what had me confused. I thought Val was short for Valerie, so I was kind of assuming that Val was most likely the wife, not the husband. You know? That's kind of where I was going with it. But good to know. He was a photographer. What else do you call a photographer? Picture taker? I don't know. I really don't know what his job would be. Val Lincoln's War on War. This 1992 focuses on the photos of Val Lincoln, a photographer who went overseas during Desert Storm. He won the Seppi Award for photojournalism, specifically for the photo on the cover. Val got a start in high school when he took a photography class because, in his own words, he couldn't decide what else to do and thought it would be the best career in the world to shoot for Playboy. Okay. But he quickly found he had a knack for it and began to skip lunch in his free periods to spend more time in the darkroom. It says Clementine on it as well. After graduating, he tried to pivot to landscape photography, but didn't have any passion for it. I work much better when I'm trying to tell the story of a person or an object. He got lucky when a photographer mentor of his who was going overseas to cover the war decided to take a chance on him. Most people wouldn't call it lucky to go to an active war zone for no pay, but he bought my plane tickets, all my meals, and even pulled some strings so he could rush my passport. For someone that had never had a real job or even left California, it was a hell of a break. Val was only 19 at the time, and shot the photo that won him an award the third night he was there. Luna, you streamed? What? How dare you? You made me miss it. But thank you for the raid, Luna. What'd you play? How are you? Also, hello, Jojo. How are you? Jump scare. I was. Sinful, you pressed enter too early. Also, hello, Sinful. I wasn't able to copy the red message. Let me snooze the ads, just so you guys don't have to see ads like immediately after you join. Hello, Reepster. Welcome in. I hit enter early. Hey, I don't blame you. I do the same thing. My fingers are too big. Just played Katamari for an hour. Was it fun? Thank you for the follow, Techno Gecko. I still need to get the Katamari game. But welcome in, everyone. How was the stream? My name is King, though I'm relatively certain you all know who I am. I play Terraria on Mondays, single-player games on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and usually Pokemon on Wednesdays. That'll come back after I'm done with a few cooler games, you know? Right now I'm on a genealogy game. Fought God with a camping map and lost? I don't even know what that means. I thought Katamari was all about rolling buildings. You know, in a big ball. Drink hydration. I don't have anything hydrating. But the only drinks I have left, because today is grocery day, is black cherry soda. So, pretty good. Healthier than Dr. Pepper. The photo depicts Lisa Clementine, who lost an arm in Operation Desert Saber. Oh, so that's not Val. There's water in soda. A little bit. Not that much, but a little bit. According to the article, women were not subject to direct combat, and Lisa was in a vehicle at the time. The vehicle had to pull over suddenly when the road ahead was partially destroyed, and she and a fellow soldier were severely injured by a landmine. Val says, I ran into Lisa just after her surgery and took this picture. Then, until she shipped out, I kept finding excuses to go back and take more pictures of her. I guess it was fate because that's the photo that won me an award, got me into your magazine, and also led to my engagement. Just earlier this week, she agreed to become Mrs. Lincoln. Ew. So this is Lisa. No. This is Val Lincoln. And this is Lisa Clementine. Ka-chow. Sorry, this brain takes like all my this game takes like all my brain to figure it out. So my bad. I tend to focus really hard on it as I try to figure it out. What was her job though? Military? So what does that leave me at? Okay, so I've done an oopsie somewhere. I've done a bad. Somewhere in here I've done a bad. Which is not fantastic for me. What if I look up Lisa Clementine? It doesn't get me anything. Maybe Valor short for Valerie? No, that wouldn't matter, because that's not a key photo. Damn it. For context, by the way, for everyone who doesn't recognize this game, this is the Roottrees Are Dead. My objective, since the beginning, was to find out after these 4 people died, Carl and his 3 kids. These 4 people died in a plane crash, and my job was to find, out of this huge list of people, where the money was meant to go. But then I found adultery and adoption and hating people who are different. And now I'm only doing adultery. Which is a little bit more difficult than you might think. So, you know, I found out this guy banged, and this guy banged a lot. But I'm working on it. You know, we're getting there. This guy, whose job is baby. This person, who I guess job is not military. I'm not sure yet. Until she shipped out. So she was still in the military. That is a good picture, though. I like that picture. Imagine. Right after getting your arm cut off, and dude's like, let me take your picture. If you knew Lisa Clementine's occupation, you could probably place her on the tree. I mean, I do know where she is on the tree. I just don't know her job. With one small change, you might be able to fix that. With one small change. Oh! Fuck. Because she got married. Okay, I might be a little stupid. Lisa Lincoln is, according to a military website you find, an amputee who lost a limb in Desert Storm. She runs a support group for fellow veterans in Beacon, New York. She makes another appearance, listed as a professor at West Point, a military college. She teaches classes that contribute to their environmental engineering major. So she is a professor. Okay, I've still got something wrong. That's not a great sign. Her short biography on the staff page mentions she had a passion for the military from a very young age due to erroneously believing that a family member was an Air Force pilot. Right, her dad. That's what her mom claimed. That actually she claimed he was an Army pilot, but they didn't admit. While she later learned that to be untrue, her passion remained, and she joined ROTC in high school. From there, she enlisted. After returning from Desert Storm, she earned her degree and relocated to West Point to teach a few years ago. So she's a professor. That's good news. That still means I have something wrong. Which is not ideal. Either her picture or her name is wrong, or she's wrong, or the baby's wrong. I don't know how the baby would be wrong. Baby's job is baby. It is Alves, right? Yeah, should be. Hit me. You have enough information to fill in Mark Clementine's younger daughter. Correct. That's why I did it. Mary Webb, but her surname at birth was Clementine. Ew. So they changed... Okay. Damn it. Fuck. Oh, I hate when it does that. Locked in, possible infidelity number 2. Hello. Oh, it's both of you.
Hey there, it's us. So, I just have to say, the work you're doing here is fantastic.
It's kind of cool you came together. That's pretty sick.
So fantastic, in fact.
There goes Clark. Always the bad cop. Go ahead.
Well, our law firm, Ruby Legal Enterprises, is having trouble keeping up. They're actually begging us to stop submitting new root trees. They said it's getting difficult to verify your progress.
Sounds like a personal problem. They're paid. I'm not. Just to remind you, I'm not getting any fucking money.
Well, consider that a good thing. I told Clark you'd get results.
Yeah, but I'm not being paid. Again, just to put this out there for you guys. I'm not being paid. And you guys are. You fucking assholes.
She says that like I didn't believe her. Regardless, the bad news is it's going to take 5 potential tree additions before anyone locks in from now on.
Okay, I mean, that makes it more difficult, but fine.
Good luck.
And keep up the good work.
Okay, bye. Okay, so that's Possible Infidelity 2, Miracle Banged, with a singer, had 2 kids, one who became a police officer, one who became a pilot. Divorce, had a military kid and a travel agent kid, and then there's another baby there. No leads on Elias banging. And she finally locked in. Thank the Lord. I still need information on Susan Ford, though. I don't know why, but I can't find anything. I want 100 children? Really? Are you sure? Randorf Dove seems quite famous. Already did that. Based in Butler County? Already... I mean, I guess. I don't think I looked it up in the periodicals, but I will. School for the deaf near Butler and was regularly listed in articles with other local schools. The Butler County Times archives include what seems like an endless list of snow cancellations, extracurricular activities, and weekend events that began over 70 years ago and stretched until the last mention in 1990. Amongst the avalanche of useless information, you almost miraculously discover one useful article. Brandorf Dove was at the center of a crime article from 1982. It seems that someone defaced the school and vehicles outside of the brand new Hudson wing of the school. There were multiple broken windows, and one of the teacher's cars was painted with profanities and accusations of infidelity. Ah, okay, so this was when Susan Ford's husband found out. A few weeks later, a follow-up article provides more details. There was one arrest, Thomas Hughes, who was coincidentally a former student. Apparently, the destruction came weeks after he married the school's newest teacher, Mrs. Hughes. She was not a teacher when he went. Okay. That makes it, okay. That makes it better. That makes it way better. I was getting really concerned. So his name was Thomas Hughes. That was her husband before she cheated on him. Very fun. According to the investigation and the police reports, trials, and restraining order, Mr. Hughes... I will actually copy Thomas Hughes, by the way. Mr. Hughes was convinced that he was not the father of Mrs. Hughes' current pregnancy. He was released on bail, and the school has agreed not to press charges after an agreement was made to pay for the damages. It seems Thomas Hughes, Mrs. Hughes, and the Hudson wing have all avoided further appearances, but he's going to be on the strange arrests... Oh. Okay, well, I was hoping he would appear on the phone. Damn, come on. You gave me a hint just for that shit. I hate you. The school changed its name. I mean... The Grandorf School for the Deaf. Okay, I'll look that up in the periodicals then. The The Grandorf School for the Deaf has made a few odd appearances here and there in Butler County Times since 1990. It's not too many that you can't look at all of them, and so after scrolling through a few pages, you manage to find something incredibly useful in an article that isn't even focused on the school itself. Local students provide key evidence in scientific study. The article from March of this year, 1999, mentions that the Ford sisters, who attended public school in Butler County, are one of only a handful of identical twins in the world who suffer from two different genetic issues. One of them was asthma, and the other has a deadly allergy to peanuts. Their mother, a Miss Susie Ford, who was principal at the nearby Grandorf School for the Deaf, was originally contacted by researchers looking to identify if there were any sets of twins where one was born deaf and the other was not. While she didn't have any twins attending her school, she asked if her daughters, Melissa and Heather, I will mark that, could be useful, and it turns out they were. She says, they couldn't be more different. My youngest, we all call her that, even though it's only by 15 minutes, is shy, but hasn't stopped running from the moment she learned to scamper. Asthma has kept her sister off the soccer field, but she's the definition of extrovert, and is even performing in a local production of Is There Life After High School later this year. Is There Life After High School is a musical. It's quite obscure, only appearing on Broadway for 17 performances after a preview period. Nowadays, it's mostly performed by smaller theater troupes, including high school drama clubs. If you couldn't tell by now, a game designer by the name of Jerry B. Johnston was in a musical theater in all 4 years of high school. I like that. I like when the dev puts in little shit. There's one song from it that somewhat surpassed the popular... Actually, before I even read... This game is clearly inspired heavily by Obra Dinn and her story. I hope it stands on its own and that it feels more of an homage than a ripoff. Thank you to Lucas Pope and Sam Barlow. You both ran so that I could walk. It's also inspired by my participation in the world's largest trivia contest on 90 FM in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Thanks to everyone who organizes that competition year after year. Shout out to Portesi Frozen Pizza, which I've never tried but I've heard so much about. And lastly, it's inspired by a core memory I have of browsing Beanie Babies' Mortal Kombat fan sites around 1995 on my local library's dial-up connection, thanks to the patient librarians in Bethel, CT, who took the time to explain the internet and help change my entire life. If you're seeing this message, please come to the game's Discord and simply type, I found the thing, all in capital letters in the I found the thing channel. The Discord can be found on the game's main menu. Thanks. I won't be doing that, but that's actually really cool. If anyone wants to go do that, feel free. It's probably something really cool. There's one song from it that has somewhat surpassed the popularity of the rest of the musical called The Kid Inside. If you'd like to listen to it, I recommend Barry Manilow's version. If you've heard the song before, it's likely that cover. The entire musical deals entirely with the traumas and nostalgia that society collectively shares about their formative years, which feels appropriately thematic for this game. I've always thought of it as somewhat ironic that they have high school theater clubs perform it, though. The key word in that Butler County Times article was local. Oh. That's very funny. I really like this developer. So this is the Ford twins. Let's see. Inhaler, so she has asthma, so she's the non-runner. Which means she is most likely... Which one was the set it said was older? I'll color that even... Okay, so the younger one is the runner. Okay, gotcha. So Melissa and Heather. I assume this is going to be Melissa. And this is probably going to be Heather. They're both students. But that won't lock in for a while anyway. But good to know. Twinsies. I don't know why it's black and white. After all, this is the most recent affair, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. But it's fine. Let's see. I mean, that's nice to have, I guess. It doesn't really narrow it down, though. Hit me. Covering up another infidelity. Yes, I'm aware. Susan has twins. Yes, I'm aware. Was he interpreting a Rootree during Guy's trip to Rootree, Brazil during Christmas? Wait. But all I have is that picture, which does have to be her, actually. Okay, never mind. That has to be her, because that's the only picture I have left of a secretary, I guess. But you said the Christmas one. Oh, and it's because I forgot I forgot somebody. I didn't see her in the back. Oh, shit. Okay, I like that picture better. That's good to know, though. That's good to know. All right, hit me. Susan Ford's daughter now? Already did. Must be the twin of the asthma. Yes, I know. Oh, never mind. Okay, my bad. So Heather is the older one, and Melissa is the younger one. The author of Family Man. Family Man? When was I told about a book called Family Man? Oh, right. I looked this up earlier. Yeah. Bess Williams was an author born in the late 1800s. She lived just outside, not just south, of Miami, and died tragically young in a major hurricane that struck the area in 1926. Bess has a minor history with the Roottrees. Her only notable book, Family Man, is a widely considered blatant propaganda about Elias Rootree. It had been all but forgotten until recently when it was re-released during the height of Rootree mania. There's a site dedicated to hurricane statistics that also mentions Bess Williams. The Bocadoro Library, not far from where she lived, was partially destroyed in the hurricane. When they rebuilt, they named the non-fiction section after her. The library was expanded again in 1950 and then closed in 1963, when multiple larger libraries opened in the surrounding area that made it redundant. The Bocadoro Library no longer exists. You find multiple libraries in the area. According to the website for the library system in Miami, the building where it once sat is now the Miami Print Museum. Searching for the Miami Print Museum, you come across their website. It states their hours and a list of exhibits. The building is very small, admission is free, and they only have room for a few different displays. One of the exhibits is their courtyard, which includes a fountain as well as a statue of an unknown author. The picture has been added to your evidence. Another is a printing press that was used by the Miami Sunday, a now defunct weekly newspaper. The last is the original print of Cuba by Cubans, the art book. Okay, let's highlight this and highlight this. Actually, I'm just going to look this up. Cuba by Cubans is a book of paintings of Cuba released in 1963. It is credited to Marcia Barbin. Well, too bad. I'm going to look it up. Cuba by Cubans is a book of paintings. On second glance, it still doesn't seem related to your search anyway. But I wanted to look it up. Fucker. What was the other thing? Miami Sunday. No records that you can find online or in your periodical. It merged with another periodical and became the Miami Mercury Sunday, which folded after only a year. The Miami Mercury Sunday was a newspaper that lasted only a year from 1949 to 1950. You find a small website about quirky printing history facts that mentions the Miami Mercury Sunday was the outcome of merging two smaller failing newspapers. This resulted in one larger failing newspaper, which was only notable to the author because by combining the names in the way they did, it was tied for the longest title for an American newspaper at the time with a newspaper in Jefferson, Texas. Okay. Not very helpful to what I needed, but that's fine, Reno. I even get to use a picture of a statue. Oh. It says in the courtyard, and according to their site, is said to be an unknown author. Does the book say anything? No. Let's go back then. An unknown author. I wonder then if... That's her. Maybe not, though. I feel like that's pretty loose. You want information on the events before the merger? Yes. Okay, maybe. I can look up the Mercury Sunday. Nope. The Miami Mercury. Gotcha. Discovered every periodical. The Miami Mercury is now a defunct newspaper that merged with the Miami Sunday. The resulting newspaper, the Miami Mercury Sunday, went out of business. Seems at some point during this process it was at least partially archived and available via your periodical search. Okay, so let's look up Bess Williams. The Miami Mercury had an article about the Bess Williams section in the Bocadoro Library when it was being built in 1928. It mentions that Bess's youngest son, now an orphan, was in attendance during the dedication. It also had a later mention from 1949, the last year the paper existed, about a bidding war for a planned expansion of the library in the 1950. The bidding was won by Wildcat Construction and included a new statue, fountain, and a second room that would double its shelf count. Okay. Cease operations in the 1960s. Okay, that's a little inconvenient. This isn't as much information I was hoping. So this probably isn't her, then. So maybe the secretary idea was wrong? Because so far, Who's Beth doesn't seem to be popping up anywhere. Like it seems to be focusing on Bess Williams instead. Oh, specifically the newspaper. Yeah, all right, that makes sense. That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense than I'm using, at least. Hello, Coley. Is that how you say the first part of your name? Welcome in. How are you? Wildcat Construction was mentioned once in an article you've already seen about the expansion of the Bocadoro Library. It was also mentioned earlier in 1947 under the headline Constructing a Better World. Okay. Collie. Oh, okay. So not Coley, Collie. That makes more sense. Do you like cauliflowers? Very, very Dragon Ball Z, you know? Hashtag cauliflower. Frank Wildcat Williams left Florida in 1941, a construction worker. Okay, I'm going to specify this Frank Wildcat Williams here. So... Oh, we getting wild here, dog. So, okay, so his kid is Bess Williams. And she was an author who was married to Frank Williams. But her last name would not be Williams. It would be... I don't know if that picture's right. But the name isn't there for that reason? Why'd you pick the name then? See, my old name when I was way younger had burgers in the name. It was the name 10 Burgers. I like the number 10, and I was a big fan of burgers. That was the whole reason. Colibri is hummingbird in German. Did I say that right? I feel like the answer's probably not. And I love hummingbirds, and I love growing flowers. That's really clever. Okay, I like that. Good. I vibe with that heavy. Want to know one of my fun facts? Hit me with it, Blue. Tell me one of your fun facts. Accidentally made a pun too. Cauliflower, right? Very, that one Dragon Ball Z character, Cauliflower. That is nice, though. Colibri. Hummingbird in German. That's nice. That's a really clever name. I like that. Have you ever seen the Roottrees Are Dead, Collie? He won the Navy Cross for his bravery and sacrifice, having carried a fellow soldier to safety under heavy Nazi fire. Now he and his wife, Ophelia, are carrying his fellow soldiers. Uh-oh. Wait, Ophelia? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's not looking good. Oh, it's not looking good. Oh, I may be super lost. Oh, man. Every time I sleep, I wake in the parallel worlds and I see the eyes of God. Is he scary? Or she? What game you playing? This is The Roottrees Are Dead. It's a little genealogy game, okay? So these three are the Roottrees sisters. These three girls and their dad, Carl, died in a plane crash. Lo and behold, they're a big, rich family, candy company people. And since they died, they don't know where the money's supposed to go, because he was the 5th president, he died. So now they're trying to find where the money's meant to go. But then it came out that a bunch of people was manhos. So this guy has so many kids. And this guy also has kids. And this guy, who's literally the very first guy, also has kids. And she had a baby. She's innocent. She had a kid. More power to her. Finally back, my power went out. Welcome back, person. So it's a matter of believe. I like puns. But how'd you find the stream, Collie? I figured you had heard of Roottrees before. Wildcat Construction is Frank's company, focused on creating opportunities for soldiers finding difficulty getting back to normal. Ophelia has handled outreach to the wives of local veterans, who are often able to provide insight into their husbands' needs and conditions. She has, through such outreach, found 13 veterans of the war to serve as Frank's employees. Followed you a long time ago, I cannot remember how. Oh, let's find out. When was it? 2020. Woo! That was like one of my first streams, I think. Ooh, good lord. Oh no, that was when it was created. Sorry. Ignore me. I take that back. Erase everything that I just said. Apparently it was February. Of 2025. So February 2025. Presumably you're German, on account of the hummingbird thing. So it's possible that it was either Kato Kito, if you know Kato, or Zuri. Zuri and Kato are like the two German, or Fia. I'm Greek. Oh, never mind. Oops. Back in February? I mean, the people I interact with the most, there's Sailor, Solid the Rat, I've seen a few times. Either way, I love you, boys. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Some thunderstorm came out of nowhere and just knocked it out. I hope it doesn't come my way. We're going to be going shopping today. Is it weird, a Greek, English, Japanese speaking viewer? No, that's cool. More power to you. I wish I had the discipline to like sit down and just learn more languages. I know such a small amount of French, and that's like it. Spanish never caught in my brain, even though I tried to learn it. I'm just not good at languages, I think. Especially since they're all so different from English, you know what I mean? My mom is German, though? Ah. Does that mean you know German as well? Or is it more of like a cultural tangent? Gonna play TS2 later with a friend? You got a slight bonus then. The community support has been unendingly and overwhelmingly positive. It has gotten to the point to where Frank bids on a project, other local companies step back and let his soldiers handle it. This has become a bit of a sore spot for local politicians and business owners, as the bids are often not as low as they expected. The problem for them is that essentially, Frank is a selective monopoly, but any attempt to circumvent it has caused an uproar and accusations of being un-American. It's uncertain of what will become of Wildcat Construction, but at least for now, we're rooting for them. Actually, wait, this was in 1921. So it's downright likely that this is Frank and whoever else. Dinner table, we all talk to ourselves when we talk in our preferred language, so you have a mix of Polish, German, Japanese, Greek, English talking? Do you find it terribly confusing? Well, when you are having dinner? Like, is it a thing where, like, you get sensory overload ever? What Zoomers speak? Something like Morse code? No, it's brain rot. Yeah, that's Bloop. Bloop is... Consider Bloop our brain rot specialist. So now that I'm here, let's look up Frank Williams. Frank Wildcat Williams is listed on a few different military history websites. He was awarded a Navy Cross Medal in World War II, and the story goes that even after being struck in the arm with a bullet, he managed to carry a fellow soldier through enemy territory on his shoulders for over 2 miles. Wow, Polish. That's like what I am. Yeah, a person's Polish. We all really kind of know the basics? Damn, okay. Oh, knowing the basics of so many different languages, I feel like my brain would explode. English is tough enough on me. I do want to learn another language at some point, though. Ideally, sometime soon, before my brain gets too old. He died in 1996, age 74, in a retirement community in Sweetwater, Florida. An obituary on the website of a local news channel that was written by a surviving family also sheds light on his personal life. He grew up an orphan because his family died in a hurricane when he was very young. Okay. He could barely remember his mother and had no memory of his father. Okay. Okay. Not this. This is wrong. So, not Ophelia. Not Ophelia. Didn't know... I'll be honest, my brain's shrinking. I can feel my brain pulling into itself the further I play this game. Cousin actually moved there? Is your cousin enjoying it? Might have not have a lot of language knowledge, but you have a kick-ass beard. Thank you, I appreciate it. I've spent so many years growing this fucking thing. Such a pain in my ass. Tried to grow one when I was a teenager, and that was not happening. My genetics are not kind to me, beard-wise. Greatest country on the planet, nothing close. You don't even have that much Polish pride. Family died. He could barely remember his mother and had no memory of his father. After the war, he ran a construction company that mainly hired World War II veterans and did a lot of jobs in and around the greater Miami area. He was a born joker and a shining light to those veterans who needed it most. An anecdote mentions that he used to insist he married his wife Ophelia as a matter of courtesy and convenience. She wouldn't have to change her last name. So this is Frank. And this is Ophelia. I feel like I'm so lost because it's not technically incest. I'm so lost. You should make bow ties on it on my beard? No, I couldn't. I've got a thing. When people touch my beard, it makes me really uncomfortable. So I feel like if I tried that, I wouldn't vibe. But if I could ever get it to like down here, like all the way down here. I don't know if the camera can see it, but like down to my chest. Then I would like Stoic the Vast it. If you've ever seen Stoic the Vast. 100% I would do that then. A photo is attached of Frank in his youth juggling hammers in front of one of his construction sites, as he was often known to do. According to the article, he has survived boophilia, as well as his daughters, Barb and Sharon Williams. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Ophelia. Williams. 2 daughters, named what? Barb and Sharon. Barbara Williams. And Sharon Williams. But shouldn't... How'd he get married twice then? They never divorced. Oh, must be a Mormon. Good for him. I have a lot of Polish pride. You don't hang out with me enough. That's not true. Like little braids? Kinda. Like little, I forget what they're called, but yeah. I assume you play a lot of TF2. I used to. Way back when. But it's been a long time. Why? A big TF2 fan? Oh, right in front of the statue. So he's the one who built the statue. Oh, ads have started. I will see you guys when they wrap up. Construction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so one of these is wrong then, which is tragic, but I will keep that in mind. I might need a hint. I like TF2, but I noticed your redeems being a lot about TF2. Also, no ads for me, so I guess you like the game. I think I've got a... I guess I do have a lot. I do have a few TF2 ones. I used to play TF2. At the beginning of my streaming career, I was a pure TF2 streamer. I only played TF2. Yeah. Long ago. I don't play anymore, though. Isn't a big FPS 6v6 person? It's not that I'm not a big 6v6 FPS person. I just got kind of tired of TF2. You know? I'd played it so much. She must be the person involved in possible infidelity 1. Wait, so... think this is Bess Williams? But I thought he... I thought he banged a secretary. I thought it said secretary. Anger. Anger and suffering. I don't know. I'm so lost. Promised Marvel Rivals and King never picked it up. Hey, actually, I promised Marvel Rivals whenever Sino invited me. And you know who never did? I was never invited. So, you know. You can fill in Frank Williams. I did. Oh, wait, is he here? Actually, okay, hold on. No. Unknown job. Loves Fortnite. He's unreal in reload bills. Oh yeah, you know me. I'm a certified Fortniter, I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. Construction. Oh, 5 more. Oh, that was her. Sick. Locked in. Possible infidelity number 3. Okay, so I've fully finished out Guy Hudson, that this Manaho. I finished the family tree update. So right now I just need to make progress on Elias and his singular infidelity with a statue. I guess. So wait, who was Frank's kids? Did I ever learn that? Whatever, give me a hint. Some children. It did? Hold on. Oh, I'm already on it. Oh, Barb and Sharon. Barb and Sharon. Right. My bad. I'm working on it. 1 and 2. Actually, have you made my segment spy? Can you guess what my main is? Because I don't play 2 that often anymore, but can you guess? Oh wait, actually, let me. I'm gonna highlight these just so I remember. Good show. So Barbara Williams. Okay, Sharon. Why would you tell me to Google something if it's not gonna have any fucking information? Is that what you said? You should try searching for them. I did. Barb and Sharon Williams. Barb and Sharon Williams. I'd say NG. Am I right? Nope. Not even close. Actually, NG is my second least played class, I think. In fact, I wouldn't have played it at all if not for MVM. You look smart. I like to think I'm pretty smart. Maybe not smart enough for NG though. No, I was a spy, man. Spy and soldier. Search for Barb Williams. Her full name's Barbara. Oh. Demoman? Nope. Demoman is my second least played class. My third was Medic, you know? Medic, Demo, and NG were my least played classes. Barb Williams is a motivational speaker, and she has a website that explains the services she offers. Her company's address is listed as in Coconut Grove, Florida. Didn't want to get Soldier because it's too vanilla. Well, Soldier's my second main anyway. My first main's Spy. Spy's my boy. I love Spy. Overcoming adversity with Barb Williams. Good for her. Barb Williams advertises her career as a motivational speaker online. This flyer includes 3 different testimonials from Greta Jones from WQTV 12. Greta Jones, unfortunately, has no online web presence whatsoever. You do find it listed on a giant list of television call signs next to the city of Springfield under the heading Effingham County. You may need to do a deeper dive on a specific city and state to see any locals who have discussed the news in that area. Can you do trick stabs? I've done a few. I can't do them consistently, though. I used to be able to do them, like, semi-consistently, but... Gunspy? I didn't normally play Gunspy. I could do it, it just wasn't my preference. He's not the greatest, but he has the heart. Listen, person's really obsessed with the time once that I sapped a sentry right in front of an engineer. But it's a good strategy sometimes. It's an easy distraction while the rest of the team comes in, destroys it, and wins. But no, they didn't follow through. Well, times in a single round. Listen, if I gotta do it, I gotta do it. There is no Kikiwa Falls anywhere in the world that you can find. The closest thing to a Kikiwa appears to be in New Zealand. Instead, a man named Chris Elmsworth has invented a small-town newspaper as a conceptual art piece. The Kikiwa Falls Gazette is a series of online articles about small restaurants, shows, and other tourist attractions all across the United States. This is presented as a monthly newspaper of small-town America. What makes the Kikiwa Falls Gazette a bit strange is that amongst the articles detailing real locations are occasional stories that present outlandish, inflammatory concepts in extremely mundane ways. For example, on the homepage right now is an article entitled, Mermaids Strike Back Against Lobster Farms? Okay. Spy Crab? I could Spy Crab a few times. My point is that person doesn't get true spy strat, okay? that using very dry language details the idea that the mermaids in Maine have begun to unionize in support of better benefits. There are no punchlines, and the articles are not marked any differently from the rest. Unfortunately, each current issue of the paper is presented on the homepage. There are no archives of older issues. Oh, damn. True. The superintendent of Benton... Okay, well, let's look up Isabel Crosby. Okay. Vic Elmsworth? One of 3 brothers, contributors to Kiowa Falls Gazette. In the meantime, let's, I assume this is Barb. If I had to guess. Public speaker, there we go. This game seems like a week-long project. I mean, last week I played it, I had no idea. My head was blank the entire time I played it, so. Spy is my second most played class. Irrelevant. I love playing Medic, actually. I used to play Medic a lot when I was really... This is going to sound weird. When I was really big into My Little Pony, I played Medic all the time. My profile picture was the Medic. My favorite cosmetic loadout was the painted pink hood and blighted beak. And it was... I loved it. It was such a good combination. Watch MLP2. I don't watch it much anymore. I'm disappointed by the newer stuff, but I used to watch it quite a lot. According to Victor, he had seen Barb talk more than once. On this particular occasion, Barb's talk was at a very large church, and it was clear she was an expert at matching the presentation of her concepts for any particular crowd because she received a standing ovation. Barb started with a story about loss, specifically the loss of a bicyclist who had been hit by a car. She spoke about the death of any person as a darkness in their loved ones, a cold, empty void that begins to creep into a space where there once was light. Because the light could never return exactly how it once was, she says the only option is to nurture new sources of light to help fight back the darkness. I forced all my friends to watch it too. Actually, I'm a little disappointed that Ryuk's not here. You've never met Ryuk, I don't believe, but Ryuk, he watches My Little Pony all the time, as far as I'm aware. Like, he's big into it. So it's kind of a bummer that he's not here to talk MLP with you. Oh yeah, that's a clip. That's not really a trick stab, but it's a pretty nice clip, and that's a quote that I got on YouTube when I uploaded it. That used to be the description of my Aussie knife, which I now no longer have. I replaced it with a kunai because I prefer the kunai. Her conclusion was that finding the hidden meanings in tragedy is the most important thing we can do. She used multiple biblical comparisons and finished by looping back around to her initial story and how she personally began to come around to this ideology. The biker who died was her son-in-law, and the Lanes Across America charity was created to fill the newfound darkness in her daughter experienced. The charity, was the light that began to fill the void, and she was doing everything to nurture it. Okay, so in that case, this is not Barbara then. This is Barbara. Because this person didn't have kids. This person did. So this was Sharon Williams. But we're getting close. Check that out. Don't know what having a jar meant? Oh, no. I'm sorry, Collie. Oh. Worst part is there is no family-friendly way to explain the jar. I'm sorry, Cully. Scarred for the rest of your life. You'll never be the same again. But I literally copied you every time. Would you please? Lanes Across America, or LAA, is a charity focused on adding bike lanes to major cities. The pages and pages of news articles that mentions lanes across America have a similar summary in them. LAA, formerly LAM, was founded in 1987 after the death of Drew Smith. Drew was biking home from work when he was hit by a car. Each year since, Lanes Across America has grown, and they now have offices in over 12 major metropolitan areas, including Miami, where the charity began. The website for the charity is a picture of Drew. The photo has been added to your evidence. Okay, so this is most likely Drew, if I had to make a guess. Smith. Which means this is probably Smith. The jar is where I make my offering to my favorite pony. Ew. Don't say that. Speaking of, the stream will be ending pretty soon on account of the fact that I do have to go to the store today, and we're looking for a few extra things. So it's going to take a little longer. But I think we'll be able to finish this next week, most likely. Oh, shit. And when we do, I'll follow it up with some cuter, littler games that I found. Why am I being rated by everybody today? No. Hello, Bippo. How are you? Welcome in. How was the stream? What'd you do today? Right as we're about to wrap up, too. My name is King, if you don't know me. Mondays I play Terraria, Tuesdays and Thursdays I play single-player games, and Wednesdays I play Pokemon, usually, but for a while it's going to be cutesier games, or games that I just am interested in, but didn't seem that long. I was wrong, the Roottrees Are Dead is very long. Unfortunately for me. Ending stream, but I was having fun. I'm sorry, Collie. I'm not ending immediately, but I will be ending soon. Unfortunately. Sorry, Collie. But I'll be back next week and tomorrow. I start at noon every day. Oh, wait, this kid never got married. Wait, none of these kids ever got married. Oh, no. That's not good. That's very bad. Oh, I have no idea. Just little bozos with you? Well, I appreciate it, Bippo. I hope the stream went well. Please feel free to do your after stream stuff. Go eat, go sleep, etc., etc., you know. Actually, I'm going to assume he's not getting married. I'm going to pray he's not getting married. Because otherwise, that's kind of screwed. Doing this on Monday? Oh, yeah. If any of you have Terraria, feel free. Every Monday. Anybody can join. There's just a few rules that you can't progress your character outside of the server. Stuff like that. You learn that the word lamb means to hit someone. Oh. Oops. Ah, okay. Hit me. Miami. Oh, lands. Miami. Now we're cooking with gas. Gonna lamb ya. What were you doing today, Bippo? I think it said art, yeah? Unless I'm blind. Getting lammy. You getting lammy with me? Any favorite MLP character? Discord. Easy answer. Discord's my boy. Artist correct, drawing a vampire? Rubber hose vampire? Or just a normal vampire? Trixie. Damn, Bippo likes Trixie too? Oh, we got some Trixie fans. Honestly, hot take. I wasn't crazy about Trixie. I didn't like Trixie that much. Though she did warm up to me in the later seasons with Starlight. Both of them, they warmed up to me in the end. But at least at first, I hated Trixie. LAM was formed in 1987, became LAA in 1994. It was founded by Sharon Smith after the death of her husband. Oh. Smith. But then why is her husband known as John Doe? I won't lie, I'm lost. The girl with the flag loves Trixie. What? Anything but a regular... Big, meaty claws and fangs. Oh, okay. I vibe. I vibe heavy. Love your cartoon style? Yeah, that's actually how I found Bippo and Biddles both. They're both rubber hose like my design is. So I was like, hell yeah. One of the oldest articles is a full uncropped version of the same wedding photo from the LAA website. It seems that after Sharon left Lamb, they began to crop her and the rest of her wedding party out of the photo to focus solely on Drew, who is the face of the charity. The full photo has added to your inventory. But none of these guys are married. None of these guys got married. The only person who didn't get married was this lady. And she's married to a John Doe. That's not good. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man. It's fine. It's fine. We'll do this last bit next stream. Because it's hitting 4 o'clock, and that's about where I wanted to end it today anyway. So we'll do this little chunk down here. We'll do this little chunk later. Because this chunk is what's hurting my brain the most anyway. Ugh. Hurt brain. Brain hurty. My brain's de-wrinkling. I'm dying. I'm dying as we speak. Season 3? Hey! Season 3 was pretty popular, if I remember. Starting season 5, I think, is where it kind of started to lose me. Season 5 has some good episodes. Season 6 really goes downhill. And then season 7 and season 8 I didn't like. And season 9 was okay. It was fine. Like, it wasn't anything fancy. But I am sorry for ending early. I will be back tomorrow with some Oblivion remastered. But as I am sick today, and we do need to shop, I am going to go ahead and call it here. I'm going to look into who we can raid today. Please close, Sammy. Thank you. Have a good rest. Thank you, Collie. And thank you for stopping in. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow or the day after. Actually, I don't stream on Friday, so I take that part back. Toodles, thank you, Bippo, thank you for the raid once again. Let's figure out who to raid from here. Why don't we? Let's see. Any requests you guys got? Huh? Actually, you know what? Let's raid somebody I met quite recently. They are playing World of Warcraft, and they you know, life's been pretty rough for them lately. So I think let's spread the love a little bit, you know. I don't think your mama streams. Hey. No, she does not. I think she would hate the concept of streaming. But that's fine. It's not up to her. Bye, Bloop. The Yo Mama channel? Is that actually a channel? Yo Mama. You know, I can't believe you guys lied to me. I can't believe I trusted you. And you did this to me. We are going to raid out to Prison Bot. He's a friend. His life's been pretty rough lately, so you know we're gonna spread the love a little bit. We're gonna raid. Oh, the Yo Mama YouTube channel. Yeah, I knew that was, but I thought you were saying he streamed. I was like, when? When did that happen? What did he stream? More Yo Mama jokes? But normally I would keep going, but we do. I don't feel well, and it is a shopping trip day, so you know I'm gonna push through, and we're gonna go to the store and a little bit early. I will be back tomorrow for some more Oblivion Remastered. Maybe I'll go a little bit later, just to make up for how short the stream was. We'll see. Or I'll be sick and can't stream at all. You know, 50-50. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I appreciate you for hanging out. Thank you again to Bippo, Luna, Tarantula, and Starbeast for the raids today. So many raids. Almost unreasonable. But I hope you all have fantastic days. Again, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate all of you immensely. Hopefully I see you tomorrow. Peace.